Reactor engaged. Traction locked. All go.
Thundercats are loose.
Hello everybody, I hope you're all doing well on this fine Sunday evening. Let me go ahead and throw this in the places it needs to go, and then we can start with the run amok here. It's only going to take a moment. We're server announcements that most people have muted anyways. So now, yes. Okay. So, just quick fun rundown. This weekend I got to go to a toy show and I got to sell some stuff. And I realized that kids can absolutely sucker me. The way they can sucker me is if a kid buys like a small group of Ninja Turtles, I will in fact give them a shredder for free, because it's just not fair for somebody to have Ninja Turtles but no shredder. So another kid came to my table. He wanted the Marvel Legends VHS Storm, and it was $15. He's like, how much is it? I'm like, 15. Why? He's like, I don't have that much. I'm like, okay, 5. So kid got a $15 toy for $5, but you know what? That kid's happy, and that's what matters to me. And then, because I was trying to sell the HasLab Sky Striker, a kid saw that. And the Sky Striker, for very few people who in this chat who probably know, because you're all here for drama instead of action figures, is a G.I. Joe vehicle that is an F-14 Tomcat. And that kid saw this and is like, ha! Hyperfixation engaged. And immediately started talking to me about all sorts of jets and what they can do and when they were made. So it was a fun thing to do. I'll actually talk about another event that happened in a story time in the future, very near future. Now we get into the unpleasant things, and I am not going to have fun. This is not going to be a stream where I have giggles and lulls at this, because this is very, truly upsetting. But I'm also not going to get, like, filled with rage, because I am trying to avoid that type of stuff. Once my computer unfreezes, unscrews itself, there we go. Okay, so I initially tried to pass some of this off to another content creator I thought was responsible, and still think, from what I've seen, that he is responsible. I don't know him personally, but number one, some people threw a baby rage fit over the fact that I was trying to pass it on to somebody else, claiming that it's me trying to get involved, when I'm just like, that's me doing the opposite. I wanted to pass this on to somebody else, but nobody was interested, so we're going to go over two things tonight. We're going to go over Jar's original video, the one that he was going to upload before he uploaded the one he did. Now, I've listened to both these things we're going over, because we're going over that, and we're going over his call with Synni. And when I say his call with Synni, I don't mean the chopped up one that was in his video. Alright? I'm sorry, this is just really frustrating. Jar has... As angry as I am about his actions, I still kind of feel bad for him. I feel bad for him because I think that what he actually needs in life is actual direction, because he's admitted multiple times now that he does essentially what the crowd wants, which is extremely dangerous for anybody with a platform. Who pinged me? Which one of you? Ah, it's the Lulu. Why won't this go away? Hold on, Lou. There it goes. Go away. Happy birthday, Lou, and I'm glad you've been a member for 17 months. If anybody else wants to join the membership, they can. And yes, Discord, because I'm very bad at figuring out how to make Discord sounds not go, go. I'm disappointed because Jar, he could do better, and when he's with people who push him towards that, he does do better, but he didn't. And it led to him doing something unquestionably egregious. Not just because inherently defending someone in this case for these specific things is a problem itself, but because he's been around plenty of people that have suffered from the actions of people like that, so he didn't even have the wherewithal then. And I know that he's on the spectrum. I get that. My heart goes out to the fact that he was raised in a young Earth creationist household. I understand that. But sooner or later, all of us, myself included, to be very, very clear, myself included, we're all responsible for our own actions regardless of how we're raised. When we're raised in situations like this, it's hard to break out of when you're young, especially when you're a young adult. And you have to start questioning and challenging things. And that doesn't inherently mean that everything your parents taught you is garbage. And sometimes a lesson can be taught in the wrong way. You can still get the right thing from it. So my heart goes out to him on that. And I do know that he's just really wanted to be a popular person. He really wanted people to listen. And he finally got that. And he just abused it, whether it be due to negligence or whatever. So we're going to go over the video itself. Amos is a content creator, a commentary person. We'll think about it, Amos, because got something to pick your brain about. But let me see if I can figure out how to do this, because it's not in Discord or YouTube. I have it over here. Let's see here. Where can I put this? Because I was not smart enough to do this beforehand. Do I do it under media source? Oh, I'm dumb. Somebody clip that. Let's see here. Is it this one? No? I'm going to figure this out sooner or later. Maybe not today. Maybe tomorrow. Oh, that should work. That's the tablet. Huh. Very strange. Sorry for the technical issues, people. Just, I'm old. I'm old and I don't know what I'm doing. Wait a second. I think I just proved I'm even dumber. Yep, there it is. I'm just really stupid today. I am very sorry. The entire screen was sitting there the whole time, but because it's black, I didn't see it in the area. Yes, call me Boomer in chat. I get it. And thank you all for the super chat. So let me go ahead and pop those off real quick. So thank you to Stinky Rat. Thank you. Boop. You sent me a DM, but I don't think I have one from somebody named Stinky Rat. Oh, okay, that's who you are. And then we have one from Hidden saying, give me your forbidden Megatron. No, he's my forbidden Megatron. You can't have it. DJ Sprouts, thoughts on Nicholas Diorio, Chuck Logic, etc. I think I'll keep that to myself, honestly. From Yin, give the Megatron to me instead of Hidden. Okay. Ignore Yin, give me... You guys keep it up. I'm going to buy all the Megatrons and keep them myself. Alright, so we're going to go through this video. And it's going to be interesting. I'm going to point out a couple of very clear things that happened in this. Because there's some very telling things here. So let's go ahead and get started, people.
I was going to make a video talking about a recent document that was released about me, but the situation has gotten much more serious as I realized the damage that I've caused.
Another person in the ArtCC has been outed as a bad person. Gee, that's surprisingly new. In other news, there's gonna be a sunrise tomorrow morning.
Okay, a couple things here. What Jar has done consistently that's been pointed out, both in what Beckett has pointed out and what I've done by looking around, is he frames everyone in art commentary as though they're all bad people just waiting to be exposed. But a lot of people have a very nebulous idea about what art commentary on YouTube is. And there's, of course, the people who get into drama, like, unfortunately, me, which I am now officially art commentary. I did a freaking art video once that nobody cared about. But the majority of actual art commentary, people who commentate about art, you're not going to see drama videos from, and you're not going to see quote-unquote snake behavior from them. I'm talking the Fiona Polos, the Duchess Celestrias, the Starfish Faces. Like, they just do that type of content. They just like, hey, here's a concept from art. Here's a concept from writing. Like, that's really cool. Really good stuff. And I'll read more super chats at the end of it. I'm sorry. I'm not used to having this many people here at this time frame. Usually I have like 20. But on top of that, did you notice the animation he did at the front? His intro animation. I'm not going to sit here and blame Jar for using it, but I know he commissioned it from Antunes, which is another person, frankly, I don't think Jar and had actually talked to him several times. Like, he probably shouldn't be associating with. And I'm not saying that to try to break up friendships or police who people are friends with, but Antunes has a rap sheet of really foolish decisions that Jar shouldn't have been wrapped around. But let's continue.
Before I begin, I would like to make some disclaimers regarding this video. Number 1. One of the subjects involved in this video goes by a different name than they used to, due to identifying under a different name and gender. If you know the user by the name of Birdie within the animation meme community from years ago, a drama I actually made reference to in my last video, which I to this day do not know anything about, then you should know they now go by he, they pronouns, and they have changed their name to Jack. This is the Art CC. Half the people in it are trans.
And when we get into the other thing, we're going to talk about that. But I want you guys to notice the video audio is loud. Okay, let me go ahead and change that. Thank you for letting me know. Desktop audio. Whoop, lower that a little. If you notice all this editing, because there's a lot of editing to this. Like if you look at my content versus Jar's, there's an obvious difference in quality of editing. I spoke to one of Jar's long-term editors. When you say how much does an editor get paid, usually they have a solid flat rate, or they get paid by the minute. For the entire video, for every edit, $20 flat rate is what Jar paid his editor. Now, I do understand that the editor in question lives in the Philippines, and that American money goes a long way there. However, if you're cognizant of that, don't take advantage of it. Like, I have no idea what I'd pay an editor, but it certainly wouldn't be $20 for a 20-minute or an hour-long video.
When talking about their drama, I will refer to them as Birdie, but for the rest of the video, I will call them Jack as that is what they wish to be called. Number 2, this video is going to be monetized. I'm only going to use some of the money to pay the thumbnail artist and the editor of the video, but the rest of the money will go to Jack's GoFundMe to help them with their situation. If you would like to donate to the...
And that's fair. I don't remember if he included that in the final one, but I'm glad he did it in this one. That's fine.
GoFundMe yourself, a link to it will be down below in the description and the pinned comment, along with a link to another GoFundMe to help save my friend's family restaurant. I know it doesn't seem like the time for it, but I promised my friend I would shout it out in every single video until we raise the money for it. I'm bringing all of this up so people don't scream at me in the comments, "You're monetizing something serious, how dare you!" And number 3, some of the stuff you may hear me talk about in this video will be a bit troubling to some, but I am going to keep my wording simple and brief, and show evidence that will be highly censored. The evidence I gathered are from 2 documents, and I am also linking them in the description down below.
Alright, so I want to go over the fact that Jar talked about how this is going to be monetized. Now, in and of itself, I don't see an issue with monetizing a video like this for 2 reasons. Number 1, if you are giving money like that to people in need, like I've done, like people have gotten on my case like, "Oh, Lyle, what do you do with the money you make on all this stuff?" Like, I hate to tell you guys, but I don't really make any money on the channel. Most of the money I make, whether it be on Patreon or whether it be via AdSense, goes to other people. It's only very recently I've taken any of that myself. But the other reason why people can monetize stuff like this, and I think the more important reason, is because I believe, if I'm not incorrect, and this is why I do it, the algorithm primarily pushes things that are monetized. So that's one reason. It's not all about just trying to make money off of people's pain. If it was, then obviously that would be condemnable in this case. But we also have to be consistent. So if a YouTuber does a video about somebody's pain, you should probably have the same consistent standards for people who do documentaries about people who go through pain. How many documentaries about Jeffrey Dahmer do you think the money and revenue from the advertisements there went to victims? I highly doubt it. So, just something to keep in mind.
So you can see them for yourself, but please look with caution. Anyways, let's get on with the video. Now, you might have heard of the Birdie drama, back when they were bashed by the Art CC for seemingly no reason. After all...
Correction, it wasn't the art commentary community, for the most part. There were a few that were bashing Birdie. It was primarily the animation meme community. A lot of them were children, but there was a problem, and I do need to point this out, of adults jumping in on the Birdie stuff, and instead of taking a step back, and let's be honest, I've been cruel sometimes to children too, obviously, But instead of seeing an obvious child who really needs help, like actual help, they just made fun of them and dogged on them, or enabled their behavior further by putting it into a spectacle. This is going to be a hot take, and I know a lot of people don't like it, and I understand why they don't. I do. Okay, I get it. But when a child is in danger, if you find out they're doing self-harming online, if they're, talking about removing themselves from the census, if they're getting involved with unironic cults, guys, the only thing you can do is you got to contact their parents. You have to. There's, if you're able to, that's all you can do. Or step away. Because you're not going to be able to pull them out of there in an appropriate manner, especially if you're an adult. That has to be done by their actual caretakers. And I understand Birdie's parents have been accused of being abusive, but that's literally all you can do. There's no other option there. Not a functional one, or one that doesn't make things worse for both of you. Like, for example, let's say that I was around during all this, and I decided to try to help Birdie while they were a minor without contacting their parents. That puts me in direct line of trouble for anybody who makes accusations as well. So it can come back and bite you very quickly. So just something to keep in mind. I'm not going to pretend like there weren't people in our commentary who made spectacles of it. One of them was a minor at the time, so I'm not holding it against them. But the kid needed help, and instead of help, they just got, bullied.
Of that drama, they became best friends with Synni Bear 03, who I will just be referring to as Synni for the duration of this video. They moved in together around 10 months ago, but unfortunately, Jack found out Synni was sending very bad messages to a 14-year-old by the name of Enno.
Oh, also I want to comment on that because, a correction. So some people watching Chud stuff, and they see his thumbnail that Jar cheated on his girlfriend at VidCon. Point of correction. Jar wasn't, number one, Jar didn't do anything at VidCon of a sexual nature. And two, he wasn't dating anybody at the time. I actually have our DMs where Jar told me that he had a girlfriend. And I congratulated him for it. In fact, if you listen to the call that I did with Jar the other day, and it's put out there in sense of the preamble to it, I said that my issue was that Jar had claimed previously that he wasn't going to make that type of joking around people anymore, all the sexual stuff. In trying to verify whether Jar was dating somebody at the time, I actually found the audio clip. So I'm going to go ahead and play it for you guys here, as best as I can, because it's on my phone. So let's try this.
Hey, Leo, even though I have COVID, I think I should tell you, I'm gonna slow down on those jokes I've been making, because, found a lady, and she's okay with my sense of humor, so I can just use them all on her. Nothing tames a male more than a mate.
Alright, so if you didn't hear it well, let me know, and I can go back and send it in another way. A couple things real quick. That is Jar just saying, hey, I'm not going to use that humor anymore. I have a girlfriend. She's fine with that humor. That's fine. That's 100% fine. But he didn't stick with that. So that's a problem in and of itself. Secondly, I don't know where the whole nothing tames a male like a mate. I got more aggressive when I started dating and got married. I got worse. I got a lot meaner. So I don't know where Jar's coming off about that. I don't mean inappropriately mean. That came later with a whole bunch of stress and other things. But, I came a lot less tolerant of crap in general. So, Creepy, since I saw you in chat, I would like to, if it's okay with you, use a section of your interview in this, because I want to point out what Jar had to say specifically about me. I'm not going over anything else there, and that's only if you're comfortable with it, so hit me up in the chat.
Now I want to make this clear in case you missed it. Jack wasn't the main victim in all of this, and they were also not the person who gathered all the evidence. They were just roommates with Synni, and they were the main person to do a video on this topic, which caused this situation to blow up. I wouldn't have learned about this situation for a longer time if they didn't make this video. There are two docs that compiled all the evidence of what Synni did. The first one has 111 pages. Sure, it's long, but it's mostly just screenshots. Now some of you may be asking, how old was Synni when this all happened? Was she 16 when she was talking to the 14-year-old? Or 17? Nope, she was 20, about to turn 21. Like her birthday was right around the corner. If you don't want to read the full thing, I will also be linking a video that goes over the full doc. The victim also made their own standalone doc, and it's, oh god, 188 pages long. But it's almost entirely just made up of screenshots, so it's not as long as it may seem at first.
And yet he didn't read it, and that's a problem. When you're covering a very serious situation like this, there is no such thing as too much data. It can be overwhelming, and that's why you should have a team if you can, or people who help you out. Lord knows I've needed help before, but it's better to have correct information than fast information.
Now, some of you might say that these screenshots are out of context, or maybe the messages are fake. After all, Discord is one of the easiest websites to use to fake messages. I mean, it's happened to me before, so it might have happened to Synni. But the thing is, those allegations aren't just allegations anymore because Synni admitted to it.
I've been an irresponsible content creator, and I've been acting inappropriately towards my fans. This alone is enough for me to realize I need to make sweeping changes to how I conduct myself and how I interact with my fans. But the most serious thing I've done is I've groomed a minor. I became friends with a 14-year-old after I made a mental note to myself to not become friends with minors again, and I overshared with them. I shared graphic, explicit materials with them when I shouldn't have. I groomed this child, and I knew what I was doing was wrong, and I betrayed everyone who looked up to me. I betrayed my friends. I've done the worst possible thing I could have done, and I'm suffering for my choices.
Alright, so I see Project Spark saying again, unfortunately Synni did have a history in the past, like even when they were minor, of having inappropriate conversations with their friends and their fans. And part of that is due to whatever it is Synni went through. I understand that. I can't say I sympathize, or maybe that's the wrong word. I do empathize with what they're doing to it. I can't sympathize. I wasn't through that myself. Despite the thing I went through, I never struggled with that for a myriad of reasons. The grace of God, mostly. So this is not something I've ever struggled with. However, let's put it this way. Say you're driving down the road and you're being irresponsible and you're just texting everybody and their mom while you're driving or watching YouTube videos, and you swerve slightly into somebody's lane and they honk hard at you, and it wakes you up from what you're doing. That is your chance to course correct. That is your chance to stop the behavior that can cause damage and to go on safely. But if you continue and you wind up getting into a wreck, that's on you. It's 100% on you. Thank you, Creepy. I'll do so later. Synni did not course correct, and unfortunately, and I'm not going to put this on other people in Synni's area, because, again, while I have been influenced by the people around me, ultimately, the choices you make are still yours. If she knew it was wrong and she did it anyways, then, well, that's on her, regardless of who she was around.
On the one hand, I am happy she admitted to it so fast, but on the other hand, she groomed a minor!
I'm going to seek therapy. I'm stepping away from my social medias, and I'm going to try to figure out why I felt it was appropriate to talk to my fans this way.
Why is it that every YouTuber says they will get therapy in their apology? I could go over the proof in the doc, but the drama seems like it's already over. Proof of what she did came out, her roommate talked about it, making the situation blow up, and she admitted to it. It's like that one clip from Rick and Morty.
And now, another quick mystery.
I just want to know who could have done something like this. It's a travesty. I did. You see this knife and all the blood on it? Here's my fingerprints.
Guilty. I sentence you to life in prison.
By the way, according to Jack, this was not the first time she's done something like this.
Sok has expressed discomfort with Synni multiple times, and Synni hasn't made an effort to change anything. She made graphic rape comics, including Sok's characters, and sent them to people she barely knew, who then leaked them because she didn't fucking know them. Sok expressed discomfort again, and Synni doubled down and told Sok off because she can cope however she wants, I guess. I haven't looked at the screenshots. I've only heard, like, testimony of this, but it's disturbing. She has an obsession with Boy to this very day. Before I found out about all this, Synni actually DM'd me last night and said, oh, Boy's yelling at me, because I think she has, like, an imaginary version of him. I don't know.
Alright, so here's what I'm going to say here, and I'm not going to be cruel, alright? People struggle. Some people have severe mental illnesses, and some of these things come out in the form of hallucination. The best way to deal with that is professionally. It's not something you sit on. It's not something you think you can just ignore away. That's very serious. You need to consult a professional. You need to get that diagnosed, be on medication or whatever. If Synni was in fact hallucinating or imagining to the point where it's physically and emotionally affecting them, this boy character, whoever that was, that's a problem. And the key should have been to actually get them help. Because one thing I have noticed, whether it be art community or in general online, is people have, instead of getting the problem addressed or assessed, they just gravitate to other people with similar problems, and instead of what you would assume of a support group or people helping you get better who may have gone through those struggles, they just enable each other, and it gets worse and worse and worse, and it spirals. And that's dangerous. It's not okay, but unfortunately the internet has normalized that to a lot of the younger generation. Now, my generation's not much better, all right? My generation's mentality when it comes to mental health is choke it down until it becomes a severe physical disorder and you die of cancer. Well, that's what my generation does, and I'm Hispanic, so we're even worse about it. We choke it down, we ignore it until we're in the hospital, and then we're mad because we're missing work. So that's part of the problem the generations have, and it needs to be normalized to properly get real help. All right? Properly get real help. Vlad, I see you in the chat. Keep in mind, you're on my stream, man. Just tone it back, okay?
And I was like, why is he yelling at you? And she's like, I don't feel comfortable saying. And then I found out from someone else what she did, and she just wasn't gonna tell me.
After looking at the doc, there's even more proof that she has done stuff like this before lots of times. I mean, the signs were there in public for years.
Okay, let's not be deceptive about what that means. Because Jar said, well, they've been doing this for years. Okay, but the context is different when you're doing it as a 20-year-old to a 14-year-old. Like, if you did it at 15 to a 14-year-old or 16 to a 15-year-old, whatever, that's a different ballpark altogether. So saying that Synni has done this before at this time, because from what I understand, there has been more data that's come out. I'm going to be 100% with you guys. I have not sat there and gone over the evidence. I saw this happening. I had people come to me saying, Lyle, are you going to look into this? My response was, nope, I'm not. I stopped doing predator hunting over a year ago. This entire situation was an absolute mess from the beginning, and I'm not going to touch it in the sense of getting involved in reporting or anything like that. The only thing I'm covering right now is Jar's video and how he mishandled this, and trying to be constructive about it if I can.
Just take a look at her channel. There are tons of videos where she would make suggestive animations of a minor character from My Little Pony. By that I mean Scootaloo isn't a minor character from My Little Pony, but that she's a minor character. She's underage. That's the point I'm trying to make. Now granted, she was a minor when she made these animations, but the thing is, she was a Coomer back then, and she's still a Coomer now.
Now, I don't know if you guys caught that, but if you remember, and I think Chris the Narc, I saw him in chat, he might remember this. In Jar's final video, he said that you shouldn't hold this stuff against Synni. It doesn't point out a pattern of behavior because it happened when they were a minor. But in his initial video, he does exactly what he said not to do in his final one. That's dishonest and shows a lack of consistency in values, right? So if I say, let's go with the tried and true method. If I say it's wrong to hit a girl, and then I turn around and do it, that's just inconsistent of me. Now, I can say it's wrong to hit somebody less in self-defense, and then if somebody hits me and I return the favor, then I'm still consistent. What Jar's done here is, in the final video, he said, well, you can't hold that against her, but in this one, he did. Now, do I think that what somebody does as a minor online should be held against them? Personally, no. Some people have different values on that, but personally, I don't. I think that when you're a minor, especially online, because I didn't have this issue, right? When I was younger, again, I was born in '85, so and because I'm very there's a reason why people think I'm on the spectrum, and sometimes I wonder myself too, because when I got access to the internet, it wasn't for pornography, it wasn't for that, it was, I found out what eBay was, and I found out where all the Transformers were, and that's what I stuck with. I didn't get involved in any stuff like this, and I don't even know if that existed. So the ability to put out stuff like that when you're a minor at the time was all but non-existent. But nowadays, it's common, and it kind of needs to be reeled back. So
a lot of the titles of her older videos have aged very, very poorly. I could end the video right here, but I think a lot of you want me to be as transparent as possible and go over the two really big dogs. I've seen a lot of false information get spread around about this situation, and I want you all to understand exactly what's going on, because let's be honest here, most people aren't going to go through two massive dogs.
including Jar, which he admitted to. My soul hurts.
But basically, she had a Discord that was a 13+ server full of minors. Sure, PG-13 movies and games are a thing, but I'm not a fan of 13+ Discords full of adults, minors, and people talking inappropriately. Synni has made it clear.
Okay, so let me go ahead and address that. You can have a Discord with mixed ages, but you have got to be on the ball. And you've got to not allow talk like that in general. You have to. You have to moderate it to a super anal degree. And frankly, in my opinion, it's just not worth it. It's just not worth it. It's more worth it to maintain a space for adults, and even easier when it doesn't have that type of material in general.
Clearner server that is a 13+ Discord, and not safe for work topics are not allowed to be discussed in it. This includes messages, images, or whatever else. Everyone else seemed to follow this rule, except for Synni herself. Hell, her YouTube banner is pretty ironic when you consider everything she got away with for so long. Now granted, the old stuff she did wasn't that bad. Sure, making a 17-year-old uncomfortable when you're 19 isn't good, but it's not pedo stuff in my book.
You should make a 17-year-old uncomfortable by reminding them to clean their room.
One of those people who defended Call Me Carson, so I can't say she should be kicked off the internet for doing the same. If you would like to know the story between her and the 17-year-old minor, well basically she sent a bunch of inappropriate messages to the minor.
17-year-old minor as opposed to the 17-year-old adult.
And then she sent the minor a whole bunch of hardcore corn comics. One of these comics involved an FNF character by the name of Boy. He was graphically essaying another character supposedly for the punishment of molesting children. Lovely. Oh, and by the way, to make everything worse, the OC by the name of Boy was created by a minor.
Ooh, that's bad.
The minor called out Synni for this, and she apologized and made a promise that she would never ever do something like this again.
That's good.
Now the stuff she did to the 14-year-old when she was 20 is in a whole new ballpark of bad. A 14-year-old is just 1 year older than a cupcake.
Can I go now?
But we aren't quite there yet, so put a
I feel you, Homer. I wish I could go now too.
pin in that for now. 1 year before this, she did inappropriate stuff with a 15-year-old when she was 18. This is...
Okay, so we're going to hear the word corn a lot in this, and I just want to be very clear. I hate that people talking about very serious things have to alter words just so it can get out. Like, the news can use these words all the time. Television shows use these words all the time. There's tons of YouTube channels that have no problem using these words that are ran by corporations, but the average YouTuber can't use it without getting demonetized. That's garbage. It turns the conversation childish, and I hate it. I hate it more than I hate VeggieTales.
bad, but it's a
Okay, no, I don't hate it that much, because I really hate VeggieTales.
3-year age gap, and most people only gave her a slap on the wrist for this because of Romeo and Juliet laws.
Protected by the Romeo and Juliet laws.
We dated for a little while. I was a sophomore and he was a senior. It's fine.
No.
The Michael Bay Transformer films have done an irreversible amount of damage to nerd culture and society, and I hate them for this specifically.
It's not fine. We've got a pre-existing juvenile foundational relationship. Statute 2705-3. What?
Granted,
If your guy carries that statute in his pocket, he needs to go in the wood chipper. To answer Gary Mood, no, Jar had no participation in that video.
a lot of people don't agree with Romeo and Juliet laws, especially when it involves a
And I'm not trying to ignore other things in the chat. I just saw that and thought that needed to be addressed.
17-year-old and a 19-year-old, or a 15-year-old and an 18-year-old. After all, a 19-year-old can vote, get drafted, and do a bunch of other stuff, but a 17-year-old is still in high school, and a 15-year-old is only in their second year of high school. However, people are also more forgiving about this stuff when it's over the internet.
I mean, more importantly, why would you want to go for somebody younger? Like, older women are the best women.
Me hitting on a 17-year-old in real life is different than me hitting on a 17-year-old over the internet. After all, I can see the 17-year-old in real life, but on the internet, I can't see what they look like. On the internet, I hear someone talking to me. In real life, I see a minor in front of me. Granted, I'm a lot older than Synni. If I'm talking to a 17-year-old, yeah, I'm gonna get a lot more crap for it.
I want you guys to remember what he just said here, because when we go over the call, there's some things said in it. Now, I do want to be clear about one thing. In the call, there's no obvious evidence of Jar hitting on Synni, but Jar says some things that are just really troubling.
The example I'm giving only works if I'm 17 or 18. She would also post gore and say inappropriate things where minors as young as 14 were present. Sure, this isn't good, but it's nothing that would get you that much backlash. But she still got some backlash, and this stuff that is, let's be honest here, small potatoes compared to grooming a 14-year-old. Most of the stuff in the doc doesn't really show her doing that much bad stuff at the start. Honestly, I've seen more sus stuff in animes I watched as a kid. I don't think having your OC in a suggestive pose where minors can see it is that big of a deal. If it was, then the doc maker would also be at fault.
That's a really dumb point. And there's also a difference between whatever things you see on anime, which is a completely different discussion in and of itself, because there is a cultural difference there. I'm not justifying it, to be clear. I'm not a cultural relativist. But just because an anime does it doesn't mean it's okay. It's just a weird point of contention. Like, okay, when I was a kid, back in the Paleolithic, they made children's cartoons of rated R movies. Do I now, as an adult looking back at that, think that's appropriate? No, absolutely not. I don't think they should have made a RoboCop cartoon or a Police Academy cartoon or, God, a Rambo cartoon. They were working on an Aliens cartoon. Like, those should not have been touched. And as much as people like the new Beetlejuice, or the Beetlejuice cartoon of the 90s and late 80s, I really don't think they should have done that. So, I think that when you get to be an adult and you look back on those things, you realize just because it existed doesn't mean it's okay. Doesn't mean it's acceptable. Doesn't mean it was a smart thing to do.
Also, anyone who made a video about this situation, as they were linking the doc showing images of her OC in sexy outfits, would also be at fault. Guys, you can't call—
If you are directing them to children, yes, Jar, they would be at fault. But if you have a general platform and most of your audience are adults and you share it, that's not you directly giving pornography to a child. There's a difference between posting something and a child seeing it or getting a hold of it and directly sending it to them. And I just want to make something very clear here. There's some debate about whether or not what Synni did was grooming. What I can say, based on what I have seen, it seems like it would have been the very first beginning steps of it. Because you don't, these monsters don't start by just immediately having that relationship. They build it based on something. So, at bare minimum, it seems like it was the beginning of that, which is extremely troublesome.
Something porn, then put it in a video without age restricting it! Sure, the doc does censor out a few things, but it doesn't look like anything that bad was blocked out. Like, this image was gore art, not her being topless. Or at least that's what I've been told. Yes, her avatar is in underwear, but they're not fully naked. But then you have things that are a little bit worse, like her saying to—
I want to say, there's something I do need to tell all of you guys. Every single person in this chat, every single person, underneath your clothes, you're all naked. Right now. How embarrassing.
The 13-year-old that she's looking for a not-safe-for-work chatbot to talk to because she's horny. She was 17 at the time, and if she was a man, he would have gotten a few side glances at him for doing something like this. Maybe this is just me, but I don't think you need to be telling 15, 14, and 13-year-olds that you're horny. I skimmed over the doc because—
You would think. So I'm still trying, and I did see the other thing that got leaked last week. I don't know why Jar thought it was appropriate to send fart porn to a kid, but okay, Jar.
Most of the stuff I saw in it was small potatoes compared to the accusation I heard about her grooming a 14-year-old. Then, when I finally got to the end of the shorter doc, I found out that the bigger and longer doc was the one about the grooming. Now, I want to make this clear. I do not believe Synni is a pedo. She more than likely would have done this with anyone regardless of age. The 14-year-old who made the doc even thinks that this is the case. She was being irresponsible by talking to the 14-year-old this way, but I don't think she was doing it to get with the 14-year-old.
I don't want to hurt anyone. I don't want this pattern to repeat itself. I want to be better. Nothing I do will ever make this right. But I want to make sure it never happens again.
She just wanted the 14-year-old to be comfortable with conversations like this because she wanted to talk about horny stuff. No, I do not know why she couldn't talk to an adult about this kind of stuff. She brought up that she talked to this 14-year-old because she was as open about not safe for work stuff as she was. And, yeah, of course she was.
Okay, so... you just figured that out, Vlad? Okay. Alright. Here's the thing. I've had a minor trying to harass me, harass Cartoonshi as well, for over a year. Like, obsessively. Like, sending me really freaky stuff, adding me on alts, threatening to sexually assault me. That's a minor very obviously open to sexual conversation. My response is, go away, and then I block them on whatever their new account is. So, it's a simple thing to do. There's really no excuse for why you should continue it. If you don't know the person you're talking to is a minor, number one, you should always, of course, ask. And actually, no, it wasn't Smash Bandicoot. He's an adult. You should obviously ask. Or two, just don't. How about don't? Like, ever. Like, I'll make jokes around my friends or in Discord about, you know, the thickness of characters like Chun-Li and my infatuation with Catwoman, but I don't go into anywhere near the depths and definitions and whatnot that some of these other people do.
She just started puberty. Yes, Synni knew the minor's age. She asked early in the convo. Sure, she could have forgotten this person's age. I talk to a lot of people myself, and it's hard to keep track of stuff like this sometimes. But she acknowledged that this person was young a few more times. Then they started to talk about, not safe for work stuff. I know some people will try to downplay this because Synni is a 20-year-old girl, but if she was a 20-year-old man talking to a 14-year-old boy or girl like this, you know how you would react.
Remember that one too. Because Jar brings it up very much so in his call with Synni that we're going to be going over.
Of course she tested the boundaries
Okay, you're right, Buddha. I have no problem with Shell either from Road to El Dorado.
Of this 14-year-old more and more. After a few more messages, she started sending some softcore corn to this minor. For those of you who do not know what softcore corn is, well, think of it like the sexy jutsu from Naruto.
You get softcore corn from the elote man down the road.
Sure, it's a bit risque, but under the law it would not be considered hardcore corn. She would detail sexual fantasies she had to this 14-year-old. This kept on escalating until Synni, she sent the same not safe for work essaying comic to this minor.
We all know the best fantasy, period, is the fantasy of being financially stable and happy.
And requested this minor to draw even more corn of the character of Boy and Nightmare Sans.
Okay, I see somebody asking elote. Actually, there's there's an elote food truck about a mile from me. And it's called Corn Hub. And it has the exact font and coloring you're thinking it does.
From the censoring job, it looks like a few parts of this comic would have been legally classified as hardcore corn. I should also note that Synni did not tell her roommate or friends,
"Gentlemen, behold, more corn!"
about what she was doing. Just to make this clear, for 6 months, she was sending corn to a 14-year-old when she was 20. She knew it was wrong, but she kept on doing it.
I'm ashamed of myself for doing this and hurting everyone.
I first discovered Synni through her video on Spocter. Other than that, I just saw her video on Lio and Peaches, along with the first few minutes of her video on Deadwing Dork.
And you know, that's actually the really heartbreaking thing. I had people come to me when this all started. It's like, oh, Lio, aren't you happy that Synni got called? I'm like, no. Like, yeah, Synni did a video angry about some of my actions, which is fine. I'm not going to sit there and get upset about people criticizing my actions there within reason. Why would I be happy about hearing that a child's been preyed on? That's the last thing I want to hear.
Do you think she complained about him victim blaming as she was grooming the 14-year-old? Ironically, Synni brought up that she was moving in with Jack at the very end of her Spocter video.
Yeah, that actually upsets me. I don't know why he thought that was a funny thing.
I'm moving out soon. My original plan was to move out in January, but things have changed. I'm going cross-country to pick up my friend so that we can roommate together. They've been an online friend for a long, long time, and they've been dealing with a really unsafe living situation for a while now, so I want to go get him. My family has been really, really adamant about me not doing this, though. They already hated the idea of me moving out so soon, but they hate my roommate even more.
When I heard this, I thought nothing of it, but now it looks like Synni is going to have to move back in with her parents. That is, if they will take her back in.
I understand they're worried for my safety, but the way they've gone about being worried has been really stressful. I need to go on this road trip, I need to help my friend, and I need to make my own decisions. I need to get out of this house.
Synni, you will get a normal job and work 9 to 5, thinking back on what you could have had if you just didn't groom that 14-year-old.
You see, this is part of the problem with Jar's mindset, and a lot of people's mindset when it comes to YouTube in general. He treats it, he's literally going to actually compare it. He treats it like the promised land. Like, it's just the ideal job. Here's the problem with putting your eggs in the basket of YouTube. Like, there's no evidence that YouTube is going to continue on forever. Like, a traditional job, the skills you learn there, you can apply to a lot of other aspects in life. You can build a natural rapport, you can build a resume. No matter what happens, there's still the ability to find a job. When YouTube dies eventually, and it will, because everything dies, the people who have made their living and life on YouTube aren't going to know what to do. Unless they were like a Mr. Beast sized, not type, clear about that, sized channel, and they're prudent enough to put in savings that'll last them the rest of their life, they're going to be in trouble, and they're not going to have the skills to do anything else. Unless they find a really kind person that's willing to teach somebody in their 40s how to do really basic things. So it's fine if you do YouTube as a hobby, or if you're building it up to a career to something else. I just think that it is unwise, and I'm not calling them stupid. I'm not saying their dreams are foolish. I'm not going to do that to somebody. But I think it's unwise to put all your eggs in that basket.
In a few years, people will forget all about you, and you will go from someone tons of people looked up to just another background character. The funniest part about all of this is you didn't do what you did with that 14-year-old because you wanted to get with them, you just couldn't stop cooming. You coomed until you groomed. I never even heard of a situation like this happening until now.
And here's where I have to take a minute and breathe.
Okay, so there's a lot of things I could have said in my call with Jar that I chose not to because it wasn't prudent for the time. Jar's claims that groomers never admit it and he's never seen this before is horrifically inaccurate for two reasons. Number one, he's seen grooming cases all over YouTube. All over the place. And secondly, he has been in Senate calls where we have annihilated groomers who admitted what they did. It just... I don't know why he ever thought this was something to say. I honestly don't. Because unfortunately, and even Vlad, Gilded Pooh, said in a recent video of his, like, if you're shocked Pikachu face whenever somebody gets called out as a predator, that's on you, essentially. It's like, it's that common. And I hate that it's common. I do. It kills me that it's common. But unfortunately, it is. Jar saying he's never seen anything like this is just away from reality.
You didn't send nudes to the minor, nor did you ask for nudes from the minor. You just wanted them to draw porn. I swear only in the ArtCC can something like this happen.
Yes, because children never get groomed anywhere else, Jar. Children never get taken advantage of sexually. They never get sent information. Children never get sexually assaulted anywhere but in the ArtCC, Jar. Thank you for totally making it to where all these decent people who just want to talk about art are somehow roped in with a whole bunch of predators because you're mad at them. You're mad at people who didn't even care about talking about you.
I do feel bad for Jack. They had to deal with so much drama growing up on the internet, and when they finally found someone who loved them for them, that person was revealed to be a predator. Grooming doesn't just hurt the victim, or the reputation of the person who did the grooming, but it also hurts the people around them, those who are close to them. Now Synni, when you made your video on Spocter, who by the way, didn't have as much proof against him as you saw what happened to him. You saw the backlash he got, and how scared he was. Sure, he had the nudes of a 13-year-old on his drive, but we don't know what he did with them, only that he said he destroyed it after he turned 18.
In a call with his friend where he joked about it, and talked about how one of the people coming out against him about this, he is now, in that time, friends with specifically to control them. I do not know why Jar went into revisionist history knowing full well what Spocker did, but downplaying it is gross.
Maybe he forgot about it, then stumbled upon it, or looked at it every day. We don't know for sure. There was a lot, I mean a lot more proof against you for what you did, and what you did was much more recent. Just like EDP, you were given a lot of warnings, and you had a few close calls. I want to make this clear, I'm not saying she's as bad as EDP. You had the choice to walk away, but you wanted the forbidden fruit so badly that you gave up paradise. And you didn't even really want the forbidden fruit. You just didn't care who you were talking to about this stuff because you're a coomer. Being a big YouTuber with tons of fans is all gone, and you will more than likely never get it back. Sometimes I look back on the story of Adam and Eve and see how they had everything and gave it up to break the one rule they had to follow. They lost out on paradise forever. There's truly only two things that can get...
Imagine comparing man's fall to grooming a child. You are comparing literally biblical paradise, and I don't just mean in the fact that all their needs are met. If you actually read Genesis, it talks about how God walked with and talked with Adam in the cool of the day. A literal one-on-one audience every day with God Almighty. And he is comparing that to having a YouTube channel. Ah, Lord.
Get you canceled, pee-pee around kids, or giving up. You can lie about people over and over, but still have a platform on YouTube if you don't give up. You can expose your folder full of horses and anime children, and still have a platform.
Yeah, and I'm going to go ahead and say this, and it's going to get back to the person I'm directing this to, and I'm fine with that. Vosh is a vile individual. His porn folder, I do not care in what context he coached it in, is vile. It is gross. It shows a very specific predilection. And if you have him in your server and you keep him there because, and I quote, you've had positive Twitter interactions, you lose any right to sit there and browbeat anybody else about their negative actions. Vosh got away with it because YouTube, for some reason, is far more tolerant of that type of behavior. I am not, and nobody should be. That's one reason why I hate politicians. I'm not going to say my exact opinion of them here because it'll probably get the video flagged, but anybody who didn't say something about Epstein, which is all of them, I think they're in on it. I'm going to leave it at that. So, when it comes to the people who lie, there are going to be people who lie. There are going to be people who do bad decisions, to do bad things. The difference isn't whether or not they give up. It's whether or not they alter that behavior. If they alter the behavior and don't give up and continue pushing forward, yes, absolutely, that's fine. But if they just continue being a scummy person, yeah, they absolutely shouldn't continue on. And that shouldn't be rewarded or applauded, Jar. YouTube isn't the end-all be-all of everything.
You can do anything on YouTube as long as you don't give up or groom a minor. I want to make this clear, you'll still get backlash for doing all those things, but if you don't give up, you can still have a chance to make a comeback. You did the one thing people can't forgive, and you lost it all.
I don't know if I can ever come back to my platform, and it's my own fault.
Others will see what you did and make the same mistake, just like you did with Spockter. It's not up to me to pass judgment on you. It's up to the audience, and looking at how they pass judgment on people like EDP, Cosmodor, and others, I don't think they will forgive you anytime soon, if ever.
I draw a line here. I can't have you doing these things with kids. I can't live with someone who is taking advantage of children. I can't.
I don't want to anymore.
Lord.
But you still did, and that's the issue. You can't undo this. Like, you have done this with so many people, and it's okay. No.
Sorry, guys, that caught me by surprise. Hopefully it's better now.
It's okay.
I want to be better. I want to do better. I want to do
You
better.
can't come back from this.
I want to do better.
You can't come back. You can. It's okay, but
No.
Synni,
Jack, I cannot lose you.
Synni,
Take away a lesson from this video.
Let's go back a little.
Synni, that you would do that.
The worst part is, you didn't do this because you're a pedo. You did it because you couldn't stop grooming. They had urges, you just didn't care. To any minors who are watching this video, I want you also to take away a lesson from this video. Be on guard when it comes to people who make animations of cartoons or games you like. Just because they don't like Andrew Tate or Sneeko.
Be careful of people who do art and animation. Because we all know it's only those people who mess with kids, right? Plenty of politicians that are clearly animators, right, Jar? Plenty of priests that are as well, right? Or drunk uncles or whatever. What Jar's doing here, and I do apologize for the jump in audio. That's whoever edited this problem. Jar is trying so desperately. I think the term that the community uses is pedo jacket. To pedo jacket an entire community because he hates them for, checks notes, something a completely different group of people did to him years ago. Now, I'm not going to deny that the art community, and I'm not talking about YouTube artists. I'm talking about the art community. We are a bunch of strange people. I'm not going to deny that. And some people do go into the level of degeneracy, but I don't think it's everybody. And I don't think it should be painted with the brush of everybody. So that's my value on it.
It doesn't mean they are a good person. You can watch their videos freely, but be careful when you interact or talk with them. If they say something that makes you uncomfortable, get out of there and tell someone you trust. Synni did not
like people did with you, Jar?
Start in the Art CC, but she joined the Art CC and now she has fallen. Yeah, partially thanks to PK Russell, a lot of people...
Synni apparently was doing this for the past 6 months. So, no. It wasn't her being in the Art CC that did this, and I can't believe he thinks that's an argument to make.
Who made animation memes also started to make Art CC content. Other people are leaving the Art CC. Heen Mitsuru is gone. People like Mushroom Girl and Ephraim are getting bashed. The days of the Art CC are...
Heen was an Art CC. She was Slideshow. Mushroom Girl is a literal child. People should leave her be. And Ephraim, well, he's a nerd.
Numbered, and one day they won't be able to hurt anyone anymore. If there's one thing I want you to take...
He treats the community like it's an anime villain. It's not going to hurt anybody anymore. Bruh, get a grip.
Away from this video is that this is a cautionary tale of what not to do on the internet. Anyways, I gotta get back to work on my Lio video now.
Oh, it's a cautionary tale of what not to do on the internet, alright, just not in the way you think it is.
So to everybody watching this video, I just want to wish you a good morning, a good afternoon, and a good night.
Okay, so that's it with that video. Very frustrating. So now we are going to pull up, and there's no visuals for this. No visuals for this. We're going to pull up the call he had with Synni since he sent it to me. The jar folder. Not the taxes folder. The jar folder. There it is. It's just audio. So let me know if I need to balance it, okay? And we can do that. But real quick before we go fully into it, we're going to take a small, tiny bit of decompression break, because that's a lot to take in. And... I saw some questions. I don't remember who, but somebody asked it. I think it was Say asked if they ever made like the G1 quintessons. Close enough for the Siege line. They did. They did an order of quintessons there. And I don't have a Transformers folder. I have a Transformers house. Okay, so let's go ahead and lighten the mood just slightly. The conversation was about pornography, the internet, and being a younger person. So I'm going to tell you guys a story from back in the Paleolithic when I was a minor and I was on the internet. Now, it was 1997, maybe 98. And yes, Flame Twice is a good brand. And my brother and I, during that summer, had the internet and we decided to have some fun with it. So it was 2 in the morning and my brother and I are on the computer. And my old man comes down the stairs faster than I'd ever seen him move. And he pushes us away from the screen. And he looks in with his tired eyes, squinting. And I just see his face go from aha, I caught you too. What? And he's just like, Mr. T? Now, what my brother and I did was we found some really goofy, bad Photoshop comics of Mr. T. Because we were teenagers, we thought they were the funniest things in the world. My old man came downstairs fully expecting that his teenage sons were looking at pornography. He wanted to catch us in the act. When he finds out his kids are freaking nerds, and I don't think he knew what to do with that information. To this day, I don't think he knows what to do with that information, to be completely honest with you. So I'll tell you guys one more funny story, not related to any of this. And I've told this to people in the server and in Guac and whatnot. So back in the day, I was part of Boy Scouts. Now, I'll answer that in a moment, Music Cannon, because I got something I actually need to tell you specifically. Were you gooning to regular tunes instead? No. Sorry, Vlad. I'm sorry. So I was in Boy Scouts when I was younger, and we had to sell tickets to something called the Scout Jamboree. It was an event where different activities happened, and we camped and all that. And they sent us out to our neighborhoods with different people in our troop, and I got stuck with Ben, who we call BBB, Big Black Ben. Ben was wild. A very wild individual. Not in the sense that he, like, broke rules or was a scumbag, but in the sense that, like, he would cause, like, the most amount of trouble with the smallest of things. So we went to an older gentleman's house, and he asked us, as we were trying to sell this to him, what group are you with? And what he meant was, what scout troop are you with? But Ben saw an opportunity. And Ben, keep in mind, Ben is black, and he looks this man deadpan and says, the KKK. And if you've ever seen that one clip of Stewie Griffin just turning his head slowly to Brian, I did that to Ben, and that man shut that door. I'm like, Ben, why? She's like, oh, thought it'd be funny. We didn't sell many tickets that day. God, Ben. You want him joining the army when he's an adult. Good Lord. I miss that guy. I'll tell you one more story related not to Ben, but to another black gentleman who was in my youth group. So I was in, and then we'll get into the video and whatnot. But I went to a church camp one summer for a week. Don't recommend it, by the way. And in the barracks, when it was lights out, it was super dark. Super dark. There was a guy in our group, our church group, whose name was Dwayne. And Dwayne, very, very, very much so blessed with a large amount of melanin. To the point where... I'm sorry, I have a hard time saying this out loud. He decided to upset the supervisors by stripping naked and causing a ruckus throughout the bunks. And they couldn't find him because it was so dark. He hid in the clothing racks, and all he could see was him smiling. And they would run past with their flashlights. They never caught him. He did it every night. Oh, I miss him. He passed away a few years ago. God, what a funny dude. What a funny dude. Okay, to Music Kenna, though. I don't have very many. I sold most of the ones from Miku Month. But one thing I do want to say to you while you're here, because I know it's been a while since you've commented, for the obvious reasons. I actually had to fight Peaches once, because Peaches wanted me to ban you from the channel. Why did Peaches want me to ban you from the channel? Allegedly you joined in on the drama on them, and they hold out against you. And I had to point out, because they refused to look into it themselves, that you were a literal minor. Why are you mad about this? And she relented on that. But I'm pretty sure she's still mad about it. But you know what? She can kick rocks. If you could have one Transformer, which one? I didn't think about that. I'll get to all the super chats later. But let's go ahead and get into... I do actually digital. I have quite a few. Let's get into this call. And I'm going to put it at 1.25 or 1.5 speed, because otherwise we're going to be here. Actually, I can go to 2 speed, because they just talk that slowly. So let's go ahead and do this, and I'm not releasing this. So for those of you who want desperately to cover this on your own channels, you're gonna have to just clip it up. You're gonna have to actually work at it. Skill issue. And this is primarily about the accusations towards Synni. So it does have some harsh topics, so just be aware of that. And yes, plenty of dead air too.
Hello? Oh, I saw your thing go green. Hello?
I thought I was bad with tech. It's an hour and 30
can you hear me?
minutes.
Hi, yeah.
Okay, so first thing I want to ask you, how are you feeling right now?
Okay, Artax 6, let me go ahead and look at your comment real quick, just so you don't feel ignored. Let me see if I can find you again. Sorry, the chat's moving a little quicker than I expected. I actually can't find you, so if you'll restate your thing, I'll go ahead and pause and answer whatever it is. But let me continue.
Kind of dead inside.
That sounds about right. Like, you seem like you've been through quite a bit of a roller coaster lately. So, here's my first question, if you don't mind if I begin. Do you mind if I begin?
Am I being recorded?
Actually, sure, I'll ask that. Would you be okay if I record you? I record all my calls with people, just so you know, just in case.
I guess it should be fine.
Okay, so for my first question is, did you actually, like, look at the docs at all?
The first one, yes. The second one, I didn't get a chance to. It was made, so that Jack could upload his video, as far as I'm aware.
Oh, okay,
I'm pretty sure it came out the same day as me making my... Like, the one that, Enno made, I'm pretty sure, was made on the exact same day that I recorded my apology video.
And Enno is the 14-year-old, correct?
Yeah.
Okay, so here's my first question. I looked at the first doc. Like, I desperately looked all over the first doc. I don't see any grooming going...
Stupid.
We determined that was a lie.
Oh, yeah, like, Synni had her avatar in sexual poses, and I was like, yeah, have you not seen Naruto or any PG-13 anime? Like,
no, I think a lot of that document was just complete horseshit, honestly. There were, of course, like, some things that I do think were problems, like the actual issues, but a lot of it was just bullshit.
Yeah, like I was looking at that, and I was like, this is so much nothing. Like, okay, sure, there's some stuff in here, but, like, 90% of it was just nothing. Like, you saying, oh, my character, this fan art someone made for me is sexy. It's like, oh, no, she said sexy. I heard the word sexy in a fucking Shrek movie when I was a kid. Like, oh, no.
Yeah, again, that doesn't mean it's okay. Like, you should still watch what you say, regardless of what media is normalizing whatever.
Okay, so, question one, let's just go in the order I asked you them. Did you take your apology down, and if so, why?
I privated it because I'm making a video, kind of going over why I don't believe I'm actually a groomer.
Oh, wow, why don't you think why don't you think you're a groomer? It's because there's legitimately no evidence of you grooming, is that why you think that?
And this is why I was talking about that Jar just did not come in here with any objectivity. Like, at all. His mind was made up.
I will be completely honest. I didn't even consider it to be grooming until Jack told me it was grooming.
Oh my fucking god, of course you did, because, like, here's the thing, I looked through both docs. Okay, were you talking appropriately? Yes. Were you grooming? No. So, let me go off topic. Synni, can I call you Synni? Is that how you say your name?
Yeah, it's Synni.
Okay, I might accidentally call you Sunny by accident, but...
Alright, let me go ahead and do this, because I don't want to put other people at an issue here. I can do a poll. Okay, cool. So I'm going to have you guys vote on what speed you want this at, okay? And we'll go from there. Yay, I learned to do something. I'm very smart. I'm not very smart. This is the entire call, Chris. I have it. Alright, so let's see here. Yeah, considering it's 81%, I'm pretty certain that... Oh, it's going down? It's going down. We'll give it 30 seconds before we go forward. So, yeah. Jibs, I'm 19 and I chose 2.0. I always listen to longer stuff like this, like calls at 2x speed, because I can actually pick it up. Somehow, maybe watching too many Chipmunks cartoons did that, but whatever. Yeah. The monkey can learn to use the keyboard. I'm going to throw a rock at you. But thank you for the super chat. Well, looks like the 1.5s have it, so let's go ahead and switch it over to 1.5. You will all suffer as I have suffered.
As far as I'm aware.
Yeah, now I'm straight too. If I was going to groom someone, I don't know, I would probably groom someone who was, the gender I was attracted to and not the gender I was attracted to, because, like, you were talking, as far as I'm aware, Synni is a female, correct?
I'm female, yes.
No, sorry, Enno is a female, correct? I got the names mixed up.
Enno is AFAB, yeah.
AFAB, okay. So, yeah, have you ever dated a woman?
When I was 14.
Of course you did.
And I ended up breaking up with my girlfriend when I was 16, because I realized I didn't love her like that, because I realized I don't like women like that.
You were just a bit bi-curious, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense.
girls can call each other pretty all day long, and society says nothing. But if I kiss the homies goodnight, suddenly society calls me gay.
Once I kissed an Italian guy, but that's not important right now.
Okay, so I have to say this. The reason why I not inherently believing something horrific's going to come out about Jar, because he tells on himself in ways I've never seen anybody else do. I have had predators in call with them knowing I know full well who they are, where they live, and all this other stuff, and they will give me less than Jar does. Because, like, Jar has admitted several times, like, I've actually kissed a guy a couple of times, I felt nothing, and we didn't even ask, and he just told us. So just stuff like that.
So I got the question 2 out of the way. Wait, did I? Oh yeah, yeah. Did you look at the doc before you made your apology?
Like I said, the first document addressing Synni 3, I did like look over it a little bit. I wasn't able to get through the entire thing in one go. Just I was too busy. But the second document I didn't even know existed until after Jack made his video. I'm pretty sure that the document that Enno made was made just so that Jack could make his video.
Okay. So, was the person who made the first doc the same person who made the old doc about you when you were dating a 17-year-old while you were 19?
I keep seeing people saying that we were dating. We weren't dating.
Well, here's the thing. Even if they were dating, legally the only real issue you'd have there is if pornography was sent because of federal law, all right? So, yeah. That's not really an issue, I think.
I honestly don't know about that situation. Like, I've heard rumors about it. So what's the situation between you when you were 19? What's the situation with you and the 17-year-old? And I just want to make this clear. I was one of those guys who defended Call Me Carson when the same shit happened. So you don't have to worry about saying anything.
Sorry, my cat's like screaming in the background. She wants something, but so way back when I like became friends with someone named Pee-wee. I guess now they go by Bug Spray. I just keep calling them Pee-wee because that's like ingrained in my brain. That's just who they are to me. But I don't know, man. Like we kind of just like I didn't realize that we only talked for a week before it got weird. But we were just like.
You don't think that's indicative of a problem? Only talking for a week before things get weird?
Both being sexual, like, toward each other. And then, like, they offered to help me move out by moving in with me. And I wanted very badly to leave my parents' place, so we went through, like, a lot of planning. And then one day they just ghosted me, and I had to work out other arrangements.
Going ghost.
Mm-hmm.
And a couple days after they ghosted me, they made like a public YouTube video, exposing me, and like they leaked like a shit ton of the art I sent them. Which,
yeah, and someone made a video defending you, and that video got like 300,000 views or some shit, right?
I don't know how many views it got, but I'm assuming you're talking about the video that Soph the Neko made.
I think it was Soph the Neko.
Yeah, I did not.
I'm gonna go ahead and say this, and Soph's been brought up. I've heard the leaked calls. I don't know what you guys are doing, but you're not doing it right. But good lord, I know that you guys aren't really used to this, but handling something this serious, like it's online drama, does literally no one any favors. So just keep that in mind going forward.
Want to cover the situation, because I didn't want to draw attention to the things that got leaked. I was so fucking embarrassed.
Hey, that makes sense. Like, it's embarrassing when you have your private messages leaked. But more importantly, so I think you're missing the point of the question. The person who made the first doc, like the old doc about you with the 17-year-old, are they the same person who's making the new doc now?
I don't think so. Also, what was there one that came out before addressing Synni 3, or are you just talking about that one?
I heard that the same person, I just heard this recently, like today, someone told me that, oh, the same person who is calling Synni Bear out in their doc was the same person who was getting onto their case like a year ago when they were 19 and talking with a 17-year-old, and I wanted to run that by you to see if you knew anything.
Well, I think you do know why, Ponder. The reason why there's so much focus put on the views, because that's how Jar sees everything. Not whether or not something's right or wrong, but how many views it gets.
I don't think so, no. The person who made the Addressing Synni 3 document was like a really old, like, ex-friend. Mm-hmm. I don't know how to explain, like, how much they just don't exist in my brain.
Okay. Well, is Eno friends with the person who made the first doc?
I'm not aware of them even, like, knowing of each other's existence. I mean, obviously, I think... I'm gonna call him Bunny. I'm pretty sure Bunny, like, probably knows about...
No,
Eno,
let
but
the
I don't
question
think Eno knows
anything.
who Bunny is. Bunny is the person who made the doc.
Oh, okay.
Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and tell you a personal irritation of mine, and it's not something that, like, I can actually be mad at people for, because it's the nature of this type of discourse. There are very few things more ridiculously irritating than talking about a very serious situation and having to use people's screen names. Like, Tinkle Sprinkle 27 sent pornography to a minor and tried to meet up with them. Like, that by nature already makes me want to scream. The screen names aren't helping anything.
And sorry for going on a tangent. I thought you wanted me to at least try to explain what the Pee-wee thing was.
Sure, go for it.
No, I already did.
Oh, the 17-year-old? That's... Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, well, I here's the thing. I don't give a fuck if you fuck the 17-year-old because, like, Romeo and Juliet laws, 2-year age gap, both teenagers. I defended Call Me Carson doing the same shit, so I cannot bash you for what Call Me Carson did because I defended him. If I did that...
For the record, the Romeo and Juliet law is very state by state, so just keep that in mind.
And I would look like a massive hypocrite. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good point. Good thing to point out, Music Kennedy. He's right. He doesn't talk about whether it's right or wrong. He talks about perception. It's asinine.
Yeah, and at least from what I can tell from the messages, there was no indication from on my end that you were trying to get with a 14-year-old romantically.
No.
Yeah.
I don't know why I have to explain to Jar that romantically and sexually are not inherently interchangeable.
Yeah, but, like, with the way people are talking about this, they're making...
And I wouldn't think I'd have to explain that to a straight dude.
You seem like the next EDP, the next Cosmodor, or whoever the fuck. Like, and this is, like, the important question I want to ask you. What, like, pushed you in to, like, saying, like, hey, guys, I'm sorry, I groomed a minor. I'm leaving my channel that I've worked so many years on because of, because yeah, so what was the thought process there?
I had like a thing in my head where I was just like, oh, this is what like seems like the best option, just to keep everyone happy and safe, I guess. It was mostly me trying to earn back Jack's trust by being open and honest with the people, like with my own audience.
But you weren't honest with them. You said you groomed someone, and I don't...
I thought I did.
Okay, here's the thing, and was the first big red flag to me. At first, I thought this was pretty cut and dry. You got accused, docs were made, there's so much evidence in the doc, they're so long, you must have done it because you admitted to it. So I was working on my video, and then I thought, I just had that feeling, the same feeling I got when the Peaches drama started, the same feeling I got when the Spocker drama started. It's that feeling I get in the back of my neck that just tells me something's not right here. And I thought about it, and I was like, Cosmodor did not admit to group.
Alright, a bad person. Let's not throw out random accusations without evidence, please.
Until it was too late. Neither EDP to this day has not admitted to doing anything wrong. Groomers don't fucking admit to it. So I thought to myself,
Jar, you have been in calls where they have done just that.
Why would she admit to it? I can't even think of a single groomer who just flat out said, yep, I did it. And and then I started thinking, maybe I should reach out to you and have a chat with you. So you think you, like, I don't think you groomed anyone. Like, that's just how I feel about this situation. Because, like, what you did was inappropriate. You shouldn't have done that, but I don't think you're Cosmodor level. You get what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So you're working on a response to everything. Is that right?
I'm trying.
Okay. Well, it's going to be an uphill battle. You made things really bad for yourself by making that apology.
I realize that.
Yep. And here's the thing. As much backlash as you're getting right now, Spockers and Peaches was surprisingly worse, so I think you have a chance of getting out of this.
Give me a second. You could say that Spockers is on the same level for the initial claims. How was Peaches worse? Peaches got essentially accused of being a bad friend. It's not the same thing as being accused of grooming. Now, I am also aware and savvy enough to know that drama channels are going to pursue what they think will be more entertaining in some cases, or softer topics. So very rarely is a drama channel, like an actual drama channel, going to pick up on something as grossly horrendous as grooming for two reasons. Number one, It's not really something they're going to get entertainment out of. And I can tell you from experience, it's draining. And nobody really wants to do that.
I hope so.
Yeah. So, what's the plan with you and Jack?
I mean, I'm not entirely sure. Fuck. I can see what he posts on Twitter. I can tell he's not my friend.
I would say the same. I don't think that's what friends say about one another.
God, he jumped so fucking far.
Jar, how would you know?
He's calling me a pedophile.
I haven't seen that, but I've seen other stuff.
I saw, like, I was at work, goddammit, and I saw him say some shit like, live and suffer, pedo bear. Like, I plan on having this story in my video, but I think it's so jarring because he left before I even came home from work. Like, I came home from work and he was just gone. And then sorry, what?
It's funny to hear a woman say that for once.
I just want people to just think about that for a second.
It's funny to hear a woman say that for once. Like, Jesus.
I came home from work and he was gone, and then the next morning, the police came to my apartment.
Oh no!
For a wellness check, not for anything bad.
Oh, okay.
I woke up to like the police at my door, and they were just like, "Hey, heard something was going on with you. Your friend called us here," and I was like, "Oh." And then I looked at my phone and I saw that like my real life friend tried calling me multiple times, and Jack tried calling me multiple times, and I texted like both of them, and my real life friend didn't know that the police were calling.
All right, real quick. Got a message from Monstrous, and I'm not trying to ignore people who are messaging me right now. It's just, I'm streaming. North, since you're listening to this right now, I'm not going to unhide you on the channel, because while I have unblocked people like Vlad and Akumu and whatnot, they didn't make false grooming claims, and they're not clout-chasing content hogs. So you're going to stay hidden, and that's how that's going to work.
So I figured they didn't call them, so it had to be Jack. I told Jack like, "Oh, the police came by," and he was like, "Yeah, we thought you were dead, lol." Like he said LOL at the end of his message, and then he never texted me ever again. And I was like, "Oh, this is good, because this means he's upset with me, but he still cares about me. That's good. He wants to make sure I'm alive." And then like I went to work, and in the middle of my shift, I saw that he made like a big like Twitter thread, basically mocking me. Like he bragged about stealing my friends from me. And he said, like, live and suffer, pedo bear. And then he, like, posted a picture of, like, a hat that he left on my pillow when he left. Like, it was a hat that said groom on it.
Actually,
like,
that's something I've been meaning to ask you. So, like, they accused you of touching them inappropriately?
Yeah, fuck him for even, like, insinuating that.
Yeah, because I'm gonna get real here. Professor Dreadlock! Get in here, Professor Dreadlock! I need you for something!
What?
Oh, he's taking a shit right now, never mind.
I told you! He tells on himself. Can you imagine having to bring your roommate into call so you can put them on a call with a complete stranger to confirm that you guys touch each other's butts? What is this? What is this? Ah! I've been married for years. I don't even do that with my wife. It's crazy. Ah!
Okay, I was gonna bring him in, and like, here's the thing. Me and Professor Dreadlock, we're best buddies, and we're romantic with each other. We slap each other on the ass every now and then. We spook each other. We don't poke each other in the crotch, but we do pretty much everything else. And like when I heard that, I was just like, I know.
All right, I'm gonna make a quick poll. Because I have to have fun with this or I'm going to cry. Let's see here. No, it's not Q&A. It's the wrong one. Where's the poll? There it is. Start a poll. Ask the question. All right, it's going to be a very important question. All right, and I'm going to need I'm gonna need the men, identified or physical, to answer this poll. Because frankly, I've had roommates, I've been in Boy Scouts, I've done a whole bunch of stuff. I ain't never been touching man butt. I just need to know. Just need to know. Am I the abnormal one? Because I don't know, man.
Jack goes by he, him, but like their sex is they're an AFAB, and
yeah, he's AFAB.
Yeah, so two women living with each other. They're going. I don't know what it's like with two women living with each other, but I can tell you, as a guy who lives with another guy, we sometimes touch each other a bit inappropriately.
I think it should have been like a red flag to literally everyone when Jack showed like me screaming at him like through text, saying, "I always asked you if it was okay, and you said yes," and like no one mentioned that or like said anything about that.
Well, you need to understand this corner of the internet. They're fucking idiots. They will believe what they're told until they're shown the opposite. I mean, come on, you've seen this with the Stalker drama. You've seen this with the Peaches drama. Prismate.
Maybe he is, Chris. He's certainly not beating the allegations. I expect the sniper to be at my window any moment now.
Luke literally put up screenshots that contradicted what he said, and people went, "Yeah, that seems legit to me."
He is, and I said this to Jar before, and I'm actually not joking when I said this. I do think that Jar actually has like a form of trauma, whether it be PTSD or whatever, from his internet spats to that degree to where he just constantly brings them up. He can't let them go. Like, he just can't. There are people I have beefed with that and this has actually happened, like in Senate and other places, where people will come into the server, hop in voice calls like, "Ha, Lio, bet you remember me, don't you?" I'm like, no, I don't. Well, I'm the guy you yelled at in this call over this. I'm like, I did that like 20 different times. It's like the scene from Batman Beyond. Do you have any idea how little that narrows it down? This man needs help.
I'm a little thrown off that like the commentators aren't like looking at that.
Actually, that's what I've been meaning to ask you. Aside from me, has anybody reached out to you?
Okay, let me tell you something about commentators. You know, I've got some in the chat. They do not like touching this stuff. Not just because it's not fun, because it's draining and it's a lot of work. And if you screw up, man, it's hard. Very hard. You know, I get what you're saying, Creepy, but I don't think they're mutually exclusive. I think you can have both.
Two YouTubers contacted me and like asked me questions, but no one else. Yeah, it was
Okay, so I'm literally the first person who was like, "Hey, I don't think you're as bad as what
you're the
everybody else
second
is
person.
saying."
The first person was Kumo.
Hey, hello?
What?
Well, Phineas, the commentary bros are addicted to covering things they find entertaining. If they covered a whole bunch of grooming stuff, that's all they'd ever talk about, because it's happened so often.
Oh, can you not hear me? Oh shit.
Okay, I think I can hear you now.
Right.
Say something.
Hello.
But what the fuck is going on here?
Hey,
let me check
monstrous.
my audio settings. Yes, headphones.
How much my kid want to be rocked? Well. I think I'm done. Dog, you not gonna eat your veggie?
Okay, fix my headphones.
Lol.
Sorry that took forever.
It's alright.
Okay, yeah, sorry, my headphones are really bad. If I knock my headphones a little bit, like I lose all the audio connect.
Alright, so since I'm being asked about the poll, 68% say no, the butt touching is not normal. And 32% say yes. Oh, okay. Alright. Not my business. I'm just gonna say it ain't normal.
It's like, yeah, I need to get these things replaced. So aside from me, like no one else has reached out to you and said, "Hey, I don't think you're literally the next EDP 445."
One YouTuber did.
And what's his name?
Kumo.
Of course, it's Kumo. Like, I have my own issues with the guy, but like, it sounds like sometimes he could be skeptical in the right areas, and you know what? I think he was skeptical in the right area because, like, I've heard rumors that you two were collabing together, but I watched his video and I was like, I don't.
Collabing is a stretch, but like he's trying to help me like make my video as good as it can be.
Oh, okay, yeah. So,
like, not a collab, just like he's looking over my stuff.
That's a different matter, Vlad. You didn't boink the homie.
Yeah, because I'm not gonna lie.
Or did you?
I was so ready to tear into you, and this was the day I was going to upload it unlisted for my Patreon supporters, and it was going to go live tomorrow. But then I decided to fact check one more time, just make sure everything was correct, and I've had this feeling for a while, like something isn't right, and after looking at everything I realized, what you did was bad. Very bad. If you were, you better thank your vagina. If you had a pee-pee, you would be, oh man, it would not be good for you if you had a pee-pee.
I'm not going to say that Jar's wrong on that, but the problem is that Jar's not wrong on that. The bigger problem is Jar's taking amusement in that. My value for, like, an attractive female that molested their student isn't, well, I sure wish that was me. It was like, oh, cool, they can go into the wood chipper too. The idea of the double standard being a positive is inherently a problem.
Oh man.
Yeah, but people are more forgiving when women do this. I mean, we've tried so many times with women. Like we gave you guys the right to vote 10 years later, Great Depression. Coincidence? I think not.
There's this scene in Mulan that I have been feeling quite a bit. It's when Mulan's father comes out, he sees something, and he just says, I'm going to go pray some more. This is one of those moments.
God.
But yeah, like, I don't think you're a groomer. I think your friend who you lived with for years convinced you that you were a horrible person. You started thinking you were a horrible person, and you cracked underneath the pressure and decided to say something in a video that made you look really, really, really bad. And
I hate you, Vlad.
And I'm guessing you didn't fully grasp what the word groomer meant, right?
I think anyone who was watching my videos might be able to discern that, because
if you could be so lucky. Do you know how dumb these people are?
In my
Imagine admitting that you think your audience is dumb. Look, my audience can be kind of goofy, kind of silly, and that's why I love them, but congratulations, you're about to hear the first shot I've ever publicly taken on my channel at Lily Orchard. That's Lily Orchard behavior right there. My audience is dumb. The audience is dumb. Buddy, you're dumb for saying that.
So Jack, I think Jack doesn't understand what grooming is, and I've been getting a lot of my information from him, because one of the things that I know I've said that was incorrect, was like, so Jack keeps saying that he was groomed by Kitty Dog when he was 12 and Kitty Dog was 14, and I believed him.
Okay, that's...
Okay. There's nothing wrong with wanting to believe your friend, but that's a situation adults should have handled. Not internet people.
That's not...
I don't want to downplay his experience in like that he was traumatized. I just, now that I'm like going to therapy and shit, I don't think it was grooming actually. That doesn't sound fucking right. God. And I feel fucking stupid for like making a video and defending that point.
Okay, you know how the only interaction we had ever was when I commented on your Spockter video?
Yeah.
Okay. In that video, you said you were moving in with Birdie, and, like, when I heard you bring that up, I was like, haha, well, this is going to be entertaining in a year.
Oh.
So that's exactly what I thought, because I was like, oh, two ArtCC people underneath the same roof. What could possibly go wrong?
Fuck.
Yeah, sorry I didn't warn you sooner. Honestly, I thought you would throw Jack underneath the bus first. Like, honestly, I thought it would happen the reverse way.
You know what? I'm not here to throw a whole bunch of shade at Synni. I don't think it's necessary, but here's what I am going to say. Synni never came to me for a roommate dispute. Twice. So, remember that.
No. God, this entire situation just sucks.
Yeah, I know. Trust me. I've been in your shoes. Peach has been in your shoes. Spockter has been in your shoes. The only thing I'm going to tell you is this. Once you're out...
I don't think Peaches was ever accused publicly of grooming. Like, even now with the FCK stuff, like, I worry that happened, but so far I haven't been provided any evidence of it. Akumu tried to send me the logs for the part of the server that was locked away, but he keeps sending it to my mobile alt, so I can't look at it. He keeps forgetting to send it to my main. But, yeah, that's not the same thing, Jar. Not all controversies are equatable.
Out of this situation, don't fuck up again, like, don't fuck up like Spockter and Peaches did. Like, here's the thing.
Yes, it's okay to sexually engage with a child once. Just don't do it twice. That's the Are you kidding me?
when it comes to the Spocker situation, the dude got canceled for being a pussy. Like, if I was in that same situation as him, I would have been like, oh yeah, I stumbled upon it.
Thank you, Akumu. And frankly, I think if Akumu had direct evidence of that, that's what he would open with in any conversation we'd have. So, I don't think that's inherently true. So, if it is, well, Peaches should burn. And if not, well, Peaches should be held accountable for whatever else happened.
Looked through all the multiple folders I had on it, saw the 13-year-old nudes, freaked out, ripped it out, stomped on it, and flushed it down my toilet. I'm not a predator. I just held onto those nudes and deep within folders, and that. And
yet, Jar didn't pay attention to the fact that he talked openly about it in the recording he didn't know was recorded among friends he knows would defend him. He didn't say any of that. What Spotter said in there, I believe, is exactly what happened. He had no reason to lie, not to people who knew who was going to defend him.
What happened to me. Oh well, guess I'll keep uploading like I normally did, but instead he was like, oh no, I'm gonna run away and make people think I'm a predator, like fucking idiot.
God. I remember people like getting really upset with me when I tried giving like Spocker the benefit of the doubt in my video, where I was just like, you know, maybe he just forgot about it, and then people were like calling me a dick writer.
Well, you are that. Let's be honest here. I've seen how much you come.
Okay. Monstrous is in the chat. Monstrous and I take shots at each other, like, about weird stuff sometimes, because we have that type of friendship. This is the first time Jar's had a call with this person. And that's what he says? Are you... Gross. It's just gross. Like, I know that commentary people are going to listen to this and just think it's hilarious. I'm just... Ugh. Cockroaches up my spine.
Rude, but anyway...
come on, you're a Coomer. You're like a super Coomer. Like I've seen some of the stuff you've drawn.
Don't remind me of what everyone's seen. Fuck. All right.
But I'm gonna give you some advice, okay?
No.
You don't want any advice?
Okay, fine.
Okay, number one, you're gonna have to take the L on the way you were talking to the 14-year-old, but you have to make it clear.
Oh no, definitely.
Yeah, you're gonna have to do that. There's no, like, listen, I had a 14-year-old like, hey, I want to make you, I'm a big fan of you, and I want to make you happy, and I was like, no, I know where this is going. This is a fucking honeypot situation. No, thank you. Not dealing with that shit. Just talk to 18-year-olds or older. Like, yeah. I one time said something very inappropriate to just stop when he was 17, and I felt fucking horrible for that. One of my thumbnail artists was 17 when I said something inappropriate to her, and I felt awful for that. Like, because you sometimes forget these people are kids, but the thing is, mistakes happen, but...
You know, Monsters, I didn't point that out because I wanted to see who else would. He says because he knew it was a honeypot, he stopped. Now, do I think that Jar is a predator based on that? No, I think he probably just misworded himself because that's just who Jar is. I'm trying to give grace and think of best case scenario. I don't want to be bad faith towards him.
You can't be talking to 14-year-olds, and after that mistake happened, like when I said something inappropriate, I was like, I'm not talking to them for a few months.
In fact, I'll go ahead and give you an example. So, years ago, I had like a 15-year-old reach out to me. And like, Lio, what do I do if I really like a girl? And my response, you know what my response was? Was it, tell them how you feel? Was it, be honest about yourself? No, it was, go talk to your parents about it. I'm not talking, no. Go to your parents. I'm not your parent. Go to your parents.
Wait until they turn 18 before I start talking to them again. I want to make this clear. I wasn't hitting on them or anything like that. I just... Sometimes you say something inappropriate, and it's nothing that would get me canceled. It's just, it's an optics nightmare, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, like...
in my video,
video, right?
I think so.
Okay, when I said adults talk inappropriately around minors all the time, people really took that the wrong way, but like, I defended myself on my second channel in my Vincent Spellman video. I was like...
To answer your question, DC Draws, you don't. You provide them with the head of their enemy, and if they have sense and recognize how powerful you are, then they will clearly want to date you. I'm starting to understand why I was single for so long.
My dad showed me RoboCop when I was a kid, and that movie had boobies in it. Like, inappropriate things can happen.
That's not okay, though!
Like, the kids are saying inappropriate stuff to each other all the time. It's not, like, you're not grooming a kid because you say pee-pee by accident around them. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Okay, there's a difference, though, Jar, between saying it on accident and saying it knowing they're around and being okay with it. That's not the same thing, you turbo dork.
Yeah, but with how much you coom, just I would recommend just talking to 18-year-olds from here on out.
No, that's kind of the conclusion I came to in my video.
Yeah. Like, just remember, just tell them, hey, hit me up again in 2 or 3 years when you're 18. I can't talk to you.
Or just don't talk to me. Goodbye.
Yeah. Yeah, you gotta be careful with this stuff. And you're not gonna get all your fans back. People are gonna hate on you. But that is better than people thinking that you're the next Cosmodor.
Well, the sad thing is, Synni was supposed to do that previously. Also, like, if it comes in my DMs, I'm either going to think that there's some fan that needs to be told to go away, or they want my Transformers. But they're my Transformers, not your Transformers. You don't get to have them. You don't get to opt me for Transformers. Not happening.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like, I had to change my Spocker thumbnail, like the one where he said, coming up to get a cupcake, because I was like, oh, people might take this the wrong way. And I don't like Spocker, but I don't think he's a groomer or anything like that. So.
Now, there's going to be people who are going to be listening to this while they draw that were involved in this back and forth, and you're probably screaming, liar, right now. And they're correct. Jar did not change that thumbnail because he was worried what people would think about Spocker. He changed the thumbnail because he got annihilated on Twitter over it. Because he got dogged on Twitter over it. That's why he changed it. It had nothing to do with his own personal opinions. Just a lie.
So that's why I had to change the thumbnail. And I understand you've heard nothing but bad things about me. I'm pretty sure you think I'm a racist pedo yourself. At least one of those things.
I know you're not looked at in the best light, but I don't actually have any labels to attach to you.
Come on. Not even the racist one.
I'm too stupid. I don't keep up with everything. I don't keep up with, like, all the drama. I just...
Yeah, I was mostly thrown for a loop when you said you were coming back from work. I'm not gonna lie, I thought you did YouTube full time.
Because that's Jar's dream. To Tay, you know, I agree that it's a shame that some of the focus is being taken away from Synni, but the plus to this is the entire reason Jar's getting dunked on is because he what? Defended a groomer. So the label is still being put on Synni. She's just not the main focus, but people still know. It's hitting a wider audience, so that's at least a plus.
Really?
Yeah, I mean...
No!
No! Like, okay, not YouTube full-time. But the thing is, I thought you did internet stuff full-time because, like, commissions and all that, because, like, I...
Yeah, I know. I remember Vlad, and while I believe that Romantic Goblin was being honest about what their interpretation is about a certain event that happened in that group chat, I still don't believe that Evan was joking. Thank you, Venkman. I'm now imagining Loud being like Daffy Duck, because his friends were, down! Mine! Yes. Good episode of Looney Tunes, by the way.
I looked at your art style, I was like, this girl draws porn for a living.
Oh god, I wish, but, no. In fact, I'm still... fuck. I'm being called a scammer because I didn't finish all my emergency commissions because I fucking lost track of all of them. I don't know who I don't know who I owe art. Like, I don't know who I owe money. I had to give, like, a really fucking large refund, like, very recently because of all this coming out. I don't know, like...
Shouldn't you be able to track that by, like, your payment processor and DMs, though?
I completely forgot I even, like, got money from them at all.
Yeah, we can't always keep track of everything. I've been accused of not paying my editors or thumbnail artists at all because I underpaid one of my editors by mistake because he confused me with between USD and, Australian dollars.
Yeah, Jar actually wanted me to solve that problem for him, too, by the way. I told him I was busy, because I was. So, yeah, another thing Jar wanted me to fix for him at the time.
Like, I got confused, and I'm going to talk about that in a video, but, like, one day, but I don't feel like doing that right now. Yeah?
All the smaller, like, things that are being, like, said about me, I plan on covering in, like, a second video, like, for example, the scamming thing, and also, like, I'm being called racist because I said something racist.
Come on, sister. You're talking to the racism king over here.
I'm being called racist because I said something racist. People keep accusing me of liking women because I had sex with one. How could they come to this conclusion?
The king of racism. But I need to, like, talk about that in a separate video, because the first video, the one I'm making right now, is mostly just talking about why I don't think I'm a groomer and why Jack is mean. He's mean. Everyone look at Jack right now. All right,
yeah.
No, there's like a bunch of fucking issues I have with Jack after seeing all this.
Actually, that reminds...
Okay, so here's the thing. Look at Jack, he's mean. Okay, so let me make this very clear here. Despite my own missteps, the things I screwed up in, I've only had one, to my knowledge, person get onto me for mocking and dogging on somebody who's predatory. I haven't seen all these streams because I'm not going to put myself through that, frankly, and I don't have time for it. I don't think any of these streams are like, well, Lyle was too mean to the predator. Lyle was too cruel to the person who groomed a child. I don't think any of them actually care if I was mean to those people. Being mean to people who didn't deserve it, yeah, they care about that. But I don't think any people or anybody's going to pull up a stream where I'm telling a predator to, you know, find a short rope in a tall tree and jump. And I'd be like, no, that's wrong, Lyle. You shouldn't do that. They're probably going to laugh and say, yeah, guy probably should. Anyways, look at this cringy old man. Nobody's going to focus, or should focus on Jack when your actions are more egregious.
Thanks me. Does Jack have an IRL job?
No.
Do they receive Social Security?
Not anymore.
Yeah, I heard a story with that. Like, I will admit, I did, when I was questioning this, I did watch Kumo's video, because I realized, okay, I need to hear someone defending this, because, like, sometimes you just need one person to say, the Emperor has no clothes, for you to actually see that he's naked. And when I saw Kumo's video, Kumo, I get him and Kumo mixed up. When I saw
he was getting me and Birdie mixed up, like, that was funny.
Yeah, when I saw his video, not a great video.
I wasn't mean enough to Vita. Still alive. And thank you, Muffin, just a skin flute. Doggone it.
He kind of rambles a lot. It took forever to actually start. He also has another video that is way shorter. I prefer his second one, but even then the second one is so long. But, like, I looked at the video and I was like, this dude doesn't know what he's doing, but, like, he's telling the truth. You're not a groomer. You're a lot of things. You're inappropriate with minors. You shouldn't send the stuff you've sent. You've had multiple warnings about this. You had warnings. You've had it with a 15-year-old when you were 18, and you had it with a 17-year-old when you were 19. So, like, here's the thing. Normally I would say 3 strikes, you're out.
Wait, what? What was the first one?
The 15-year-old when you were 18. Wasn't there a situation with that?
That doesn't ring a bell.
Huh.
15-year-old when I was 18. What the fuck?
Well, point is...
No, that does not compute. But anyway, sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, point is, you need to be careful, and here's the thing. This happens again. It's going to be really bad. So, like, you need to double, triple, quintuple check what you're who you're talking to. You need to keep the ages in mind, and if you're gonna start your Discord up again, make it 18+.
Yeah, that's also part of my conclusion.
Yeah. Okay.
So, hot take: Synni shouldn't have a Discord server. I don't know why he thought that was a rational thing to tell her.
It's like, I'm gonna probably have, like, an age verification thing going on. I don't know how exactly I plan on implementing that yet, because I don't want to, like... My first idea was to have people, like, give me their driver's license, but that...
I don't know if this is gonna show up in the super chats, but I'll read out what Zach said. Lau, you're so Julia for this stream. Absolutely Pepiga? What does that mean? Dare I say you gobbled the ops. You phantom taxed their Melon. 365 party girl bumping that. I feel like I need to die.
It seems like a bad idea. That seems
just have them click on
easy way to dox yourself.
Just have them click on the I promise I'm 18 button. Like that.
But then people are gonna be like, that's not good enough.
Tell them to make videos on Pornhub instead of you. Then can I tell you one of the most boss moves I've ever seen?
Sure.
Billionaire in Brazil said he was going to bury his $1 million car so he could drive it in the afterlife. He was doing the Egyptian thing. Bunch of people called him stupid. There were so many articles about this. A day comes for him to bury his car. He goes up on stage and says that he's not actually burying his car. He did this as a publicity stunt to say that it's National Organ Donor Day and that his car is not as expensive as the organs in your body. So if you have a problem with him burying his car, then you're a hypocrite if you're not donating your organs. And the amount of people becoming organ donors on your driver's license skyrocketed in Brazil.
Damn.
Yeah.
Objection. Relevance?
I mean, fair. I'm pretty sure I'm an organ donor too.
The point is, people can't get mad at you for a 15-year-old sneaking into your 18+ Discord when Pornhub allows, like their security goes about as far as click on this button to say that you're 18.
That's the fallacy of relative privation. Like, here's the thing. If I'm seeing a dude get mugged in front of me and I stop the mugging, I can say that mugging's wrong, but I don't have to comment on every mugging.
Well, I feel like Pornhub is, like, probably doing that on purpose, though.
Well, it's illegal in my state. I live in Texas.
No, I mean, like just, like, not putting it up.
That's actually true. Unless you use a VPN, apparently you can't access Pornhub here in this state. This is hilarious.
A shit ton of, like, regulations in place just because a lot of people who want to look at porn are, like, teenagers.
What I find the funniest thing about this entire drama is, like, the doc that was like, oh, her character did a sexy pose, and then Jack links it beneath his video, and it ends with your two characters.
The fucking panty and stalking me.
Yeah, like I know what panty and stalking is, and I know that's not a show I would be like sending to any minor I've spoken to. Let's just say that. And when I saw that,
Now, I will say that was horrifically inappropriate of Birdie to do, and it's also inappropriate for Birdie to put out sexual content or things that glorify self-harm to an audience 16 and under. I recommend whoever is Birdie's friends straighten Birdie out on that, because you're going to have the same problems going forward if you don't.
It's just like, I was confused about this. Like, people saying, oh, Synni Bear 03, she drew a character in sexy poses, it's porn. Here, let me link it down beneath my video.
And to Ozzy, who says, oh, you're still a lolcow, Lion Boy. Did that make you feel strong? I bet it made you feel strong to say that.
Without age restricting it.
I just think it's fucking wild that, like, in Jack's video, he's like, I'm not a freak, unlike Synni. Anyway, here's my animation where Synni takes off her underwear and, like, strips on a pole. Like, the irony is palpable. I can't get over that. That's such a,
The thing is, if Jar was operating this interview properly, he wouldn't be this chummy. He'd be straight to the point. He'd be asking very specific questions to see what response he would get and compare it to what he knew. Jar came in here to make a friend. That's what Jar came to do.
Please understand where I'm coming from. I'm so pissed off.
I understand where you're coming from. I've been in your shoes multiple times.
Called me a freak, and then you animated my ass.
Yeah, you're both Coomers as far as I'm aware.
Okay, that needs to be clipped. You animated my that's actually kind of funny.
But he's acting like he's better than me. I'm gonna kill him. I'm not gonna kill him. I'm just angry. I'm angry.
Yeah, like, I think what you did was wrong.
Of course.
But yeah, I'm repeating myself at this point. And I will say,
I repeat myself a lot in my thing.
Like, here's the thing. I'm a very punishment equals the crime kind of guy. That's why I defended Peaches so much, because I was like, there was too much punishment for what she had to go through. And then they changed her pronouns a bunch and went crazy.
Okay, so there's a lot to unpack there. So, firstly, Jar was asked by Peaches to help defend her at the time with factual information Peaches gave him. Jar instead decided to go with the rest of the crowd and dog on Peaches, so he made a promise and chose not to do it. So this is like the third time Jar has made a claim about his intentions on something that is inaccurate. And secondly, Peaches didn't change her pronouns and go crazy. Peaches was always unwell, and her pronouns had nothing to do with it.
And I'm so glad to finally sit down and talk to you.
Doggone it, Monstrous. The only time a Jar will ever hear a woman beg is for her to beg him to shut up.
I was nervous that you wouldn't have gotten back to me, because I've gone back and forth on my videos so much. I've been... I made it really quickly, and then realized, oh, I need to find the evidence, and then I had to change this, I had to change that, I had to change this, and I had to change that, and once I finally had a video all lined up so I could, like, look through it and fact-check it, I was like, oh my god, like, I'm so low energy because, like, I don't really believe in what I'm saying, and then I realized, what am I fucking doing? I should reach out to you to hear your side of the story, and what gave me the courage to do this was I saw that you took or privated your, apology video, and that made me think, maybe she's realizing, hey, I'm not a fucking groomer, you're just a coomer.
God. Yeah. The whole thing is mostly just embarrassing. I am also, like, just let me complain for a second. I'm also just so fucking, like, I'm throwing shit at the wall because I'm remembering when the Pee-wee shit happened, like, the same people who came to me, like, including Jack, the same people who were like, yeah, it was really messed up that they leaked all your porn. That was so messed up. Oh, they're such a baddie. And then they're doing the exact same fucking thing. Like now that they're mad at me, they think it's, like, super cool and awesome to just do it again.
No, there's no evidence that Jar groomed a minor.
Like, even when the, like, addressing Synni Bear 03 document came out, I was, like, having the worst time because a very particular, like, piece of information was in there that I did not want anyone knowing because it was insanely personal.
Now, Synni is going to talk about what that is, and the reason why I'm not censoring that, because even though they're a scumbag, there's some things I think they're nobody's business, but the reason I'm not censoring it is, unfortunately, it already has been made public. But I want you guys to listen. Now, keep in mind, Jar isn't us in this. Jar doesn't see Synni as a horrible human being that needs to be extricated or expedited to the nearest cell. He sees somebody he's being friendly with, somebody he wants in his corner. So I want you to pay attention to what Jar does when Synni opens up about something.
And I was, like, kind of having a fit over it, and just because, like, now it's suddenly public that, like, my body is broken.
Wait, what do you mean?
I don't want to repeat it.
What do you mean your body is broken? Like, your leg is broken, or?
No, I was like venting in like the group chat that Bunny was in. Like the beginning of the document is talking about how they were in a group chat with me and a couple other people, and at some point I was like venting about like something I learned in therapy and was connecting some dots.
I saw that she broke up with him. To my knowledge, they're still together. I don't know where you're getting that, Josh.
And one of those dots was a medical thing, and they posted me like talking about the medical thing and like.
Was it a hypersexuality?
If you.
Listen, I'm not gonna force you. I'm not gonna force
I'll say what it is as long as it's like not gonna make you uncomfortable. Just like I said in the chat that like I can't masturbate. and I don't want to know that.
So Synni has to be very transparent, very vulnerable about something that's super personal. Super personal. And Jar thought it was appropriate to laugh about it. See, the chat knows. You guys know. Now, pay attention to what he's about to say here, because this is going to be a sound clip for the ages.
What do you mean you can't masturbate?
I don't feel anything. Like, nothing happens. And...
Well, that's because you're a woman.
So I think it's been confirmed Jar's never excited a woman before. Him and Ben Shapiro sitting out there with deserts in their women.
No, that's not the reason. But
I was making a joke, by the way.
It was brought up, like, it was...
Sure. Joke.
Being brought up in therapy, like, we were connecting some dots, and I built...
Okay, well, that's interesting. I apologize for laughing at you for that.
It's okay, I guess. But, like, I got really upset that was put in the document, and so anyone could just
see that. I can't hear you again.
Everyone knows now. Fuck that!
Okay, now I can hear you. I just heard everyone knows then. But yeah, I apologize for laughing. It was something very personal. Sucks. That was something very personal. And I am sorry that got leaked out, and I'm sorry for laughing at you after you had the courage to tell me.
No, it's okay. It sucks because I was...
Well, it's good that he apologized. Like, he could have just not laughed at it. Or, if he had to, he could have muted himself.
Trying to Jack about it, and Jack, like, understood how much it upset me that in particular was leaked. And now he just doesn't give a shit.
Well, that's why I hate...
Gee, I wonder why he doesn't care. Maybe it's because he sees you as a groomer. And let's be honest, groomers aren't people.
RCC people, they're insanely backstabby. Like, insanely so. Like, you can't be friends with them.
Well, make sure you start breathing, Chris. The last thing I need is a whole bunch of commentary bros accusing me of killing you.
God.
Like, I have stuff like... On a lot of ArtCC people I've been gathering, I actually have a folder called Tower of Babel. Yes, that is a Batman reference. Yes, that is a Batman reference, and that's actually why I made the video on Daft Pina, because like I looked at his folder and I was like, holy shit, this is a lot.
So, I want to be the nerd in the room as I am. So, I am a comic nerd. So, Jar has also proven in his other content that Jar cannot interpret media well. Like, he has no ability to. So, let me explain to you this. Most people in the chat probably haven't read the comic story, but they've watched the animated adaptation called Justice League Doom. Tower of Babel is a Batman story, a Justice League story, where Ra's al Ghul essentially gets into Batman's contingency plans and uses them against his teammates. Now, to Jar saw this and said, this shows that Batman's cool. He's able to take down other members of the League. But the text of it, the point of the story, is that Batman should be ashamed. And he is. Because he didn't check with his friends. He didn't have the trust in them that he could confide in them, that he needed to have contingencies. Because in fairness, they all recognized, contingencies are a good thing. We have an absurd amount of power. And it can be abused, it can be manipulated, we can be taken control. If Batman was open with his friends, with his teammates about that stuff and said, hey, I'm getting a contingency together in case something goes wrong, they all would have been behind him. But he did it in secret. And did it terribly. And yes, I know, I'm getting there, Vlad. And the reason why it's called Tower of Babel is because the Justice League was splintered after that. So, Tower of Babel, they had a single goal, something happens, it scatters them, and now their goal is gone. Batman was the bad guy in that story. And Jar thought he was the good guy. Now, I want to be very clear here. A lot of people ask, well, why is Jar with the Misanthropony? Because they act the same way. They have entire files and folders filled with people who have said mean things about them and people who they take issue with. And in fairness, you can confront people, right, that you have an issue with or that have done you wrong. But I'm going to say this, and I know there's somebody in the chat who's probably going to take this the wrong way, but I want to be clear. I have to be honest here. I think if you do it for that long and that obsessively, you need help. That's not healthy. Especially if it's just random dorks online running their mouth. Like, screw that. It's not worth your sanity.
God.
Since I never interacted with you, I actually don't have anything in your folder.
Sorry. What about a folder?
Oh, okay, you don't...
It's his homework folder.
Yeah, okay. So, do you know about the DC comic Tower of Babel?
I don't.
Batman's computer gets hacked by, I believe, Ra's al Ghul, and basically Batman on his computer had a file called Tower of Babel, and in that file was a bunch of folders on each of the Justice League members with, like, a list of all of their weaknesses and how to take them down. Yeah, I have that, but for Art CC people.
That makes sense why Batman would have that. That's
Yeah,
really smart.
I have one on Ponder, I have one on Oranges, I have one on everyone.
The heck did Oranges do, or Ponder do? Like, he's paranoid about people who just want him to leave them alone. Imagine admitting that. It's embarrassing.
Spooky.
Yeah, that's actually why I made the Daft video, because like I looked at his, I was like, this is too big, I need to say something.
That video was so bad that when you got into a debate with Creepy reading over it, you had to delete 70% of the video. What did Ponder do to him? Ponder mentioned that she thinks he's racist. That's literally it.
God.
I wouldn't need it if they didn't constantly backstab me. You saw what Junkie did to me.
I'm assuming there's probably like a bit of just the Fruitcake Club thing in.
Oh, that's gonna be its complete video. Like all I knew.
No, I was just like pondering. I was just like wondering what was in Ponder Sprocket's folder.
She wasn't part of the Fruitcake Club. So not that, but.
Oh, I thought she was.
As far as I'm aware, no. As far as I'm aware, if Ponder was, Akumu would have brought that up for sure.
Perhaps I'm mishearing shit a lot. All right. Off topic. I got us off topic.
Okay, so I suggest you make your video. But here's the thing: everybody hates you already. They can't hate you any more than they do. In fact, so don't rush it. In fact, don't take too much time on it, but don't rush yourself. It's better.
It's pretty much done.
Okay, but here's the thing. When you upload it, be very careful with the title, the description, and the thumbnail. Don't,
For the record, Jar and Oranges, to my knowledge, only had one encounter back and forth that I mediated, and I'm really hoping that Oranges didn't just back down and, like, appease Jar out of fear of me. Like, that actually is something that's been running circles in my brain. I hope that didn't happen for people. But other than... And that's something that was handled, so if that's Jar's gotcha, it's so doggone stupid. Yes, Chris. Oranges took issue with one of Jar's videos from a cultural standpoint, and they had an entire discussion about it. And I had to tell Jar before getting into this call, this is not a call where you are going to win something. This is not about a conflict and winning the conflict. You should go into this call open-minded and listening to what somebody in this culture has to say about what you said on this video. I had to tell him that multiple times.
Don't make something that will make people upset. People are upset.
Yeah,
but
no,
like...
this video in particular.
Yeah, Jar, tell somebody to not make something that'll make people upset, because you've done so well at that.
I don't want to be provocative, like, at all. I just want to make sure everyone understands what I'm saying.
Okay.
And honestly, I'm trying not to be, like, catty about this, but it's honestly the only way I'm going to survive this call, because it is actually troubling.
Not a groomer. I'm just a gooner.
Goomer. And a goomer. Like, okay, now... You're going to still get a little backlash for it, but it won't be. It won't be. I don't know, 13,000 dislikes like you got on your apology.
I hope not. I hope. My assumption as to how it will go is like, a bunch of people will like click on it and then immediately dislike it and leave some fucking weird comments, and then as it keeps going, it'll get a lot more leveled out. That's what I assume is going to happen.
You're right. You're right. And you're going to have some dumb fuck constantly bring up, like 3 years down the road, someone's going to say, "Hey, aren't you that groomer person?" And you're going to have to deal with that. Like I have people doing that. Yeah, I have people doing that to me because of because my thumbnail had a cupcake in it. I don't regret that. That was fucking hilarious.
This literally contradicts what he said earlier about how he had to change the thumbnail because he was worried people would find it evident that Spotter would be a predator, but now he's saying he doesn't regret it. I ask the Lord every day for patience, because if I asked for strength, I would surely use it to hurt people.
Were there any other questions, or did I do good?
I have a few more questions about Birdie.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so when you moved in with them, like this person and like this person you really cared about, like, and you saw you've been around the ArtCC in this corner of the internet. I know the animation meme community is a bit different, but it's the let's be honest here. It's the same politics. It's a bunch of very left-leaning people who don't follow what they preach. When you moved in with Birdie, like, was there at least a small part of you who thought?
So it's the left-wing people in the art commentary who don't follow what they preach, but not you. Not you, Jar. And not right-wingers. Dude, you have any idea how many right-wingers have been annihilated for being hypocrites? How many anti-gay people have been found in airport bathrooms with another dude going down on them? This is asinine.
Maybe this is a bad idea.
Actually, no. My entire family was, like, very against the idea of me moving in with Birdie. In fact, I remember, I have a distinct memory of, okay, so I don't know if you know this, but I was friends with Jack Birdie back in, like, 2020, and that kind of ruined my life for a bit, and so I stopped being his friend. And then, like, more recently, I got back in contact with him just because he was on my mind for some reason. And he seemed to be a lot more mellowed out. He was a lot less, like, abrasive, and also happened to be homeless. So we just started talking again, and like, I remember when we were, like, making our plans to like, move in together, whenever I would talk about him to my parents, I would call him Jimmy, because I didn't want them to know that I was talking to Jack again. And one time I was, like, talking to them about you know, just Jack, and I kept saying Jimmy, 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 and, like, my parents were kind of being ableist because I like, admitted that Jack had some mental health issues, and they were acting like he was going to kill me in my sleep. And I got so defensive that I accidentally called him Jack, and then my dad looked at me and he gave me this look like he was going to fucking kill me.
Okay. I'm guessing your parents are conservative, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So here's the problem. I figured out your issue. Listen.
Prepare to hear Jar's wisdom about the political alignments.
Conservative boomers, and Gen Xers, or whatever their ages are, they're too extreme in one direction. But
hey, I don't think I'm extreme. I've never even been on a skateboard.
Like, they're thinking that a mentally ill person is like a schizophrenic guy running around with a knife and screaming out "Jesus is in my cock." Like, they're not all like that.
No, Jar. My generation, the Gen Xers, the millennials, whatever you want to call them, a lot of our parents were Vietnam vets. And no, I'm not a conservative. I'm just saying, like, he talked about my generation. They know about people being mentally unwell. It's not a new thing to them.
It's very ableist to assume that. However, there's only so much you can explain through, like, your mental illness. Like, I was rolling my eyes so much when Peaches all of a sudden was experiencing gender dysphoria right when this stuff came out about them. Like the timing just seemed too convenient, and the amount of times.
And yet, Jar, every time he gets in hot water, what does he do? I'm autistic and I have dyslexia. It's just projection.
I've heard someone in the ArtCC say, "Oh yeah, I did that, but you need to understand, I was groomed." Like, oh my god, it's so, like, I understand grooming is not a good thing to go through, but it can only explain so much of your behavior.
Yes, Jar. And a buck does stop somewhere else, but at the same time, you can't talk about this like this, because you have absolutely tried to excuse your actions with things you've been through. And it can contextualize, but intent does not change impact.
Like, I was isolated and physically abused by my mother, but, like, I'm not going to say, yeah, that gives me the right to do something fucking terrible. I'm autistic and dyslexic as shit, but, like, I'm still responsible for my own actions.
Yeah, that's why, God, that I saw so many people being like, "Synni, don't you fucking dare try using your autism as an excuse," and I was like, I wasn't planning on it.
You don't seem like you have autism to me.
I think it's fairly obvious I do, honestly. I'm fucking retarded, but it's...
You're not as bad as I am.
If you saw me, like, in real life, I'm pretty sure I would immediately give it away. I feel like the way I talk is also, like... I don't know how to explain it.
Okay, on a scale Okay, talking to, Heat and Mitsuru, I can tell they're autistic. What's their name? Fish Lizard Zip or...
You know what Heaton didn't do? This.
Or only Jesp. I can tell they're autistic.
I can tell you're autistic.
I know, it's fucking obvious. This is why I can't get exposed, because, I can't go into the real world. People can tell who I am. I actually got recognized at VidCon through my voice. And anytime I'm recognized in public...
This is the call that Jar had with Synni, the one that he edited for his video, Thurman.
Like, everyone says, hey, your voice kind of sounds familiar. Are you just a robot? That's always how it goes. It's always the voice. Like...
I remember hearing your voice for the first time without the, modulator you use, and
Okay, so I will tell a brief fun story here. When I went to the DFW G.I. Joe toy show, definitely showing my age here, there was a gentleman who was at a booth, and he was messing with something, and I recognized him. It's Chad, G.I. Joe channel. And I saw him writing on something, and I'm like, oh, do you have a YouTube channel? Just, messing with him a little bit, unbeknownst to him. He's like, yeah, I do a little bit. And then he looked down to start messing with his poster or whatever again. And I continued talking to him, and I could tell he stopped. He just stopped. And I could tell it was clicking. It's like, I recognize that voice. It's like, are you Lio? I'm like, I don't know, man. Should I start yelling and using insults? Would that help? So I've had those moments, too, where people just recognize my voice and just look at me like, I know you. So I understand what Jar goes through there, but still.
I was like, oh, he just sounds like a robot. That's awesome.
I know. That's actually why I picked the name, because people would call me Mr. Robot Man.
Real quick, other thing. So, back when the YouTube boxing thing was a fad, because Jar always wants to get in on YouTube fads, Jar hit me up. He's like, Lio, would you like to have a YouTube boxing match with me? And I just had to say, Jar, number one, we're in different weight classes, and number two, I'd hurt you. And I'm not saying that out of ego. I'm saying that because Jar has never once been in a fight in his life. And when I was listening to this with somebody, they asked me, are you rethinking that boxing match, Lio? And I'm thinking, I might.
God. You are just a robot.
Yes. I'm also a transhumanist. I believe that we should...
Yes, lad, from what I can tell, never. I mean, what's he going to do? Fight his mom, the homeschool teacher? He didn't go to school like we did, dude. He didn't mix it up with people like that.
Replace our human flesh with robot parts.
Well, I mean, I don't want...
He never had to throw a chair at somebody in school. I have.
I want to do that. I want to keep my skin.
From the moment I understood the weakness of my flesh,
No.
It disgusted me.
No. I'm pulling out another quote just because I want to spite Jar on this one. Where is it? Come here, phone. You'll be quicker at this. Brain no worky. Talking about the weakness of flesh. Okay, hold on. And I know that Vlad will probably recognize this. I don't know how many other people in the chat are going to. Where is it? Yes! You know what it is. Don't you, boy? Shall I tell you? It's the least I can do. Steel isn't strong, boy. Flesh is stronger. Look around you. There on the rocks. A beautiful girl. Come to me, my child. The girl, of course, jumps to her death. That is strength, boy. That is power. What is steel compared to the hand that wields it? Look at the strength in your own body. The desire in your heart. I gave you this. Such a waste. Contemplate this on the tree of woe.
But yeah, like, here's the thing. I think it's good to be progressive. But you've seen my content. You know I bash the left, and that's because I'm tired of this whole, oh, I have a mental illness, or, oh, I'm black, oh, I'm a woman, oh...
LARPing is it's a movie quote, you dork.
I'm gay, I deserve special treatment. No, you deserve to be treated like a person. And if you fuck up, you fuck up. And here's the things...
Okay, I agree that you should treat people like people, but that also means taking into account what they struggle with. Are you kidding me?
Synni, I do think what you did would have gotten you permanently canceled if you had a penis.
Then it should get them permanently canceled if they have an innie instead of an outie, you doofus.
Like, if a guy did that, it would not go over as well. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah. Like, can I tell you the worst part about being a guy?
Listen to this. Listen to what he's going to say. And remember what I told you about the video we just looked at. Remember what he talked about. All right? Because you're about to put 2 and 2 together here.
That you have to pay extra for mayonnaise?
No.
Sorry, that's. Oh God, I missed Jack. All right.
Okay, so I'm at the pool, just relaxing. 16-year-old girl shows up in her bikini. I realize I have to get the fuck out of there right now because like I'm not going to be paying attention. I'm going to daydream. I'm going to look in her general direction, and then suddenly a situation is going to happen. So I realize like whenever I see a 16-year-old girl in a bikini while I'm at the pool, I'm like, well, time to go home.
Who admits that? Firstly, if you're at a public pool and you're looking at women, look at the older ones. Like, they're the best. Like, Kino. Secondly, like, is this something that he's dealt with? Is this something that he's gotten in trouble for? Like, if you're staring into space, you can stare into space that's not occupied by people. Bless the Lord, oh my soul, and all that is within me. All right, let's continue.
Oh my God.
Yeah. So, be thankful that you're a woman. Like, I know it sucks that you have to deal with periods and men not taking you seriously and men not listening to you. What would you say?
Hey, can I get your
That's the one moment they could have made a joke. Men not listening to you. I'm sorry, what'd you say? Like, and he didn't even pick up on it. I'm actually offended.
What's the word? Can I get your opinion on this?
Sure.
So, for fuck's sake, at some point I like opened a separate bank, like a separate savings account just for Jack. And there was like $300 in that savings account for Jack. He keeps asking for that money, and I keep thinking, no, I don't want to give you that money.
He made $10,000.
He made $10,000, and also the fucking computer he's using to tweet out all this fucking bullshit is one that I bought for him, and it was $600.
Yes, Chris, because you're essentially seeing the living example of the clown-to-clown communication meme.
Percentage of the rent did you pay?
Most of it. In fact, I've been paying full rent for, like, most of our stay here.
Yeah, don't give him the 300.
Yeah, I'm upset because he has my jewelry. He fucking stole my jewelry.
Hidden, I will counter that. Why would you ever ask for Jar's opinion? All the time. Because then if you turn around and do the opposite, you'll be fine.
And it was expensive and I want it back. And also I want my cat back. I would like my cat, for fuck's sake.
Oh my god, another Kai and Omnia situation. It's always the fucking cat!
He took my cat!
Why? Why is it always the cat? Like...
Well, Jack has like a...
Yes, Senor Motos Rose, I am, because that was put in my server before it ever was put in a Google Doc. And for the record, I had nothing to do with the Google Doc's creation. The person who made it chose to. And I don't blame them for it. Because let's assume that the Google Doc doesn't inherently point out anything specifically predatory about Jar. It can at least incentivize others in the possibility that he did to come forward with something. And I find that important.
Really, like, strong connection to the cat, and so he's, like... He's really fucking weird about the cat, but, like, he took the cat, and he took Squirp and left Stupid. So I have one cat and not the other. Like... And Stupid keeps screaming because she's bored, and she doesn't have her playmate anymore, and she's sad.
I can't get on to them from the names of their cats, because I had a cat named Douchebag once. A glitch that was from Conan the Barbarian. I was quoting Thulsa Doom.
Okay, well, get your cat back. Kai got their cat back, so I'm sure you can get your cat back.
I'm a little skeptical, because I tried calling the police about it, and they turned me down, because they said your cat isn't a police matter. But
technically, it's not. Technically, they are right about that.
Well, it depends on how the cat was taken and all that. So, I will admit it doesn't surprise me that police wouldn't want to put resources to that, obviously.
You're going to have to...
I do want my jewelry back.
Okay, well, you're going to have to press legal charges.
I don't want to do that.
Try the internet stuff first. Try making your video. We'll see if Jack gives it up. If Jack doesn't...
I'm a little scared that, like, they're going to relocate the cat. Because I know where Squirp is right now. I know where she is. I know she's at, like, my friend's house. I'm scared that if I make too much of a fuss that they'll relocate it and I won't know where she is anymore.
Look, I want to be clear here. I got a big heart for animals. Because I'm a sucker. I'm a softie. I don't think either of these people need to be owning pets. I honestly don't. I think they need to work on themselves. And I know that sucks, because having a feline companion is awesome. When I was at that toy show yesterday, since some people were in costume, like there was some woman who brought in like a black cat, and I wanted to pet the cat, but she never came near my table. I was sad about that the rest of the day, so I get it, but still.
Okay, well, that's going to be a difficult situation, but here's the thing.
Agumont has a cat named Blackie. I really hope he's not an outside cat that you have to call for, man. I really hope he's not.
Fortunately, you're going to have to try to get your cat back, and does your cat have a tracker in the neck?
I have no idea, actually, but I think he also took the fucking paperwork. Like, I think Jack took the paperwork for Squirp, so I can't check and make sure that it's under my name, even though I know for a fucking fact I paid for it. And I signed the paperwork because Jack... Okay. No, there's no reason. I just know I signed the paperwork. I know I was signing it while Jack played with the cat.
Okay, I can't help you that. I've never fought for pet custody. But, like, why do you guys keep getting in this situation? Kai and Omnia move in together, it's a whole mess. You and Jack move in together, it's a whole mess. Anytime... I don't mean to sound bigoted, but anytime you people move in with one another, it doesn't go well. I mean you people as in ArtCC, this corner of the internet kind of people.
Yeah, because that's the problem, Jar. Also, I'll go ahead and tell the story real quick, since we talked about cats in the chat. Alright, so my brother-in-law, when he was a child, lived in a very troublesome household, drug addict mom. But he had a black cat. And he was a little kid. And he named the cat Spooky, because it's a black cat. You know, Halloween spooky. The problem was he lived in a very urban part of town, and it was an outside cat, and he often called it without the IE at the name. And he found out very quickly that in those spaces, that word's not the thing to call a cat. Now, granted, he didn't get in trouble for it. He got some weird looks, and his mom had to explain things, and afterwards it was fine, but he learned very quickly what a slur is.
Autistic gooners.
Okay, but like, 2 is a coincidence. We'll wait until the 3rd time happens.
Okay.
But, yeah, Kumo has been kind of, like, opening my eyes to a lot of this shit.
Well, it's nice when we get, like, while me and Kumu have our different opinions on things, ultimately, we have one common enemy, and that's the ArtCC and how they manipulate people. Like, they seem all nice and wholesome, and then they suddenly...
No, yeah, I think the art commentary community is, like, extremely fucking predatory.
Why is it whenever they say this, they can never actually name who they're talking about? Because half the time when they name these channels, they're not even art commentary channels. They're just random commentary channels. And do I agree that some of them are predatory? Yeah, absolutely. Some of these channels just prey on other people's downfall. I just wouldn't engage with them, frankly. So there's that.
Like, I thought that even before, like, all this shit happened to me.
Oh yeah, it keeps happening, and you think, oh well, Spocker's gone, that's the worst of it, and like, I'm heartbroken because, like, I fall for it too. I was really close with Lio, like, and Peaches, I was really close with both of them. And the Rosa call was just the tip of the iceberg.
Really? The tip of the iceberg. Okay, Jar. Okay.
Hello?
I'm still here, sorry, I was listening.
No, that was my headphones again.
Oh.
But yeah, like, Lio, I'm gonna have to talk to him too, because I want to get his thoughts on a few things, but like...
Oh yeah, he's like, I fucking saw, he made like a post saying, hey, I heard that Synni was scamming people. If you didn't get your commission, I'll draw something for you, and it's like, what? Who fucking wants that?
Yeah, it's like, Lio, you're not as beloved as you used to be.
You know, that really sucked, hearing that the first time. Now that I've gotten some distance from it, Synni, I have published work and you don't.
People know.
I paid for Synni Barrow 3 art and I got Lio Convoy art.
Yeah, he drew one of my thumbnails for me and it did not go well, but to be fair, that wasn't a very...
Aaron, that's not my page, doofus. I'm sorry to disappoint you, but that is not my page.
A good video of mine. I was just going through the history of the the atheist community, the anti-SJW community, BreadTube, and then the anti-woke community, and like how politics keep shifting on the internet.
Wow.
Yeah.
But, fuck's sake. What was I gonna think? I forgot what I was thinking. I don't know if I ever think. I don't think I'm a thinker.
I don't think... Well... Listen. What you went through... You did bad. But what you went through was not the right punishment. Whatever punishment you deserve for what you did, you already got it.
I saw, Kumo's stream. Like, I was like watching it today, even though it was like streamed yesterday. I just wanted to see what they were saying about me. And I saw like at the very end of their stream, they were like, I know a fitting punishment for Synni. The anti-masturbation cross. Like, that was funny. That was funny. I thought that was funny. But too bad they don't know. But anyway.
Yeah. So, and I'm gonna be 100% real here. Main reason why I wanted to call you out on in my video, the main reason is because, like, you're art CC, and I was like, you know what? She's probably a bad person being in this corner of the internet, so, like, I'm gonna give her hell, but then...
That's his focus. Not this person did something to a child, but, they're art CC, another person I can take down to prove they're all bad. And I appreciate the kind words about my art, but I also have to point out, like, as an artist, no one can hate my work more than me. So, whatever.
I kept on getting cold feet because, like, the evidence just didn't seem like it was lining up, and then I thought, okay, once I finish the video, it's all going to make sense, and I can just look at everything as a clear picture, and I finished the video, I looked through it, I was like, this isn't right. She didn't do anything that bad, like bad, but not like...
I did do something, but, like yeah, I don't think I'm a predator.
No, and I called you a predator in my video. I didn't upload it, thank God, but I
saw your thumbnail. Alright,
okay, well, to be fair, I'm going to change the word to Coomer.
Wah.
Yeah, I made the thumbnail, then I was like, okay, time to start recording, and then I was like, okay, recording's done, time to add in the evidence. This is not lining up, and then I was like, okay, you know what, I don't think she's a groomer. You know, maybe I could do this crazy thing called reaching out to people, and, like, you know, hearing their side of the story.
To answer your question, Oblivion, it's because the other monitor I just have there to keep the eye going, it's a toy review I did a couple years ago.
Aye.
But yeah, when do you think your video will be out?
I'm hoping this week. I'm having to, like, redo some things. I'm
It's
still debating if I want to keep the last part of my video in, because in the last part of my video where I'm just talking about how Jack has been treating me, like, during all...
And for the record, that audio glitch wasn't from, like, processing, that was just in the recording.
This, I started, like, fucking sobbing, and I'm wondering if that's even, like, worth keeping in.
I would recommend not keeping in the crying, so people don't think you're emotionally manipulating them.
I feel like, God, I feel fucking stupid, but I like, a part of me wants to keep it in because I feel like there's value in being vulnerable, but at the same time, it's just like, man, people will find any reason to be mad at me.
I know, like, what my biggest problem was all the people saying, like, oh, Synni didn't make a real apology. I was like, that's the most genuine apology I've ever heard in my fucking life. What are you fucking saying?
I saw a lot of people being like, oh yeah, Synni's...
Then I don't think Jar's actually heard a real apology before. Or given one.
Mostly just like Synni's not sorry they groomed a minor, they're sorry that Jack is leaving, and it's... Like, Synni's just upset because Jack's going away, and it...
Yes! Because that's been your entire focus this whole time!
It's like... You're mean, go away.
Okay, to be fair, it did seem that's why you were mostly upset, and I understand it.
To be honest, it was mostly why I was upset, because just...
Yeah, let's be honest here.
He's my best friend. My best friend, he's going away. What? That's fucked up, man.
Yeah, I'm gonna be honest here. With friends like this, who needs enemies?
For real. Like, even Laurel. Like Laurel is someone, like, I was so close to. I was so close to Laurel. And now, fucking today, she uploaded her own video about me.
Look, you can be super ultra mega close to somebody. You guys can be homies. I guess with Jar butt touching homies. When somebody finds out you dicked with kids to the way Synni has, you're dead to them. There's not gonna, if they're smart, there's not gonna be that hesitation.
I can't watch it because I get sick looking at the thumbnail. But like, man, everyone just hates me.
Yeah, they do. Even I hated you until I actually realized, oh my god, this is the complete video. This is garbage. I'm not uploading this. My girlfriend told me not to interview you. My girlfriend was like, just forget about it. Don't upload the video. And I was like,
you should have listened to her.
No, I want to talk about this. Like, something doesn't feel right. I need to get to the bottom of this.
Hey.
Yeah. Yeah.
Did you have any other questions?
No, not really. It's just, after this is all over, after this is all over, like, once you and Jack have your everything sorted out, I recommend you take a break and rest.
Oh no, I plan on that too. Like, once this is all dealt with.
Yeah, because
it really fucking sucked when Jack first left, because I was like, well, I'm public enemy #1 now, so, like, I can't make videos, I can't draw, I have no friends, so, like, what do I even do with my time?
Coma?
Like, no, I just ended up playing video games for, like, a week straight.
Oh my god.
What the fuck else am I gonna do? Like, literally, all my friends hate me. Like, all of my, like, friends are just gone. And...
Gee, I wonder why.
And... like, I can't draw when I'm super depressed.
And yeah, Jar's like, oh, just gross! Ugh.
What reason do I have to even draw if I'm not, like, able to show it to anyone? Like that's just how my brain works now. I can't draw just for me anymore. It's, like, not in my brain chemistry anymore.
We're gonna fight now!
You good?
I just saw this on Twitter.
Oh no.
So Jar, interviewing this individual, who is facing severe accusations, in the middle of it is looking at Twitter videos.
What is the thumbnail? I mean, what is the picture?
Have you seen Yu Yu Hakusho?
No.
It's Kuwabara at Urameshi's wake, and he's like, no, get out of that casket, we're gonna fight now! You're not dead! Get up, fight me, punch me!
Aww.
I'm gonna leave.
Oh yeah, Jack is being a fucking weirdo on Twitter.
Yeah, like, the problem
once he found out that I was making a video, like, he doesn't even know.
You just realized, Chris, how unprofessional this is? I figured you would have figured that out in the first 10 seconds.
What I plan on saying in the video, but he's already, like, trying to paint a narrative where, like, I plan on being super ableist and, like, calling him unreliable because he's mentally ill.
This is super ableism. This is super ableism too.
And everyone fucking believes him, but, like, he has no proof of me even, like, insinuating I was going to do that. He has...
And yet you still did. You still did take shots at his disability and inability to work. You saw somebody making an accusation about what you were going to do and said, you know what, I'm just going to do it. Way to go, stupid.
Nothing. He has nothing, and everyone believes him.
Well, that's what the RCC does. They control the narrative. They say you're going to be sexist, racist, ableist, transphobic before your video even comes out. They always do this shit.
Yeah, and there's a reason why when you have that pattern of behavior.
I'm so upset that, like... fucking Kuma was the only person, like, questioning everything. Like, he was the first one to contact me. He's the one who's, like, questioning everyone whenever they talk about this shit. And no one likes him. God damn it.
Well, to be fair, that's what happens when you're not going around when you don't follow the crowd blindly. They excommunicate you. That's what happened to me when I went against the grain.
No. What did you even go against the grain for? You literally go towards the grain because you go towards popular opinion. You admitted that. What has Jar done that goes against the grain other than questionable takes about things that are a bit of a problem? Like, you can go against the grain for the right reason, right? Good example, Jesus stood against the religious elite. Went against the grain, good reason. Usually when Jar does what he thinks is against the grain, it's usually for the dumbest things in the world.
I had to be, like, everybody knew the edgy shit I've said in my videos for years, but as soon as I had a different opinion on the Toby drama, suddenly I'm racist.
No, that's not what happened. What happened, and I'm going to go ahead and make this clear to everybody who's not aware, there's a time when your content leaves its intended audience, and people look at you like in a way you're not used to. So what happened with Jar is, yeah, Jar was doing edgy stuff for years. And then people in art commentary looked in who had not been around him before and started calling out his behavior. Nobody had done so previously because it was within his own community. So of course somebody on the outside is going to do that. It's a lack of understanding how people work.
It's weird that no one called me out for that until after I went against the grain.
Strange. And also, I don't fully understand what the Toby drama even was.
No one does! No one does!
You would think they were, considering every single time Jar does a drama video, he has to talk about it.
It's
like,
so
even after
confusing.
trying to watch videos about the drama, I was like, wait, is Toby the bad person, or are they calling out a bad person? Wait, what the fuck? What am I watching?
Toby did bad. It was exaggerated. And then everybody got distracted because the Peaches and Creepshow art stuff happened.
Raw XD, but...
Exactly. So, are you gonna be okay?
I feel better now, but, like... Holy shit, earlier today I was having a rough time.
Can I tell you how bad it's gotten for me?
Sure.
After dealing with this stuff on and off again for 10 years, I actually deal with... I have dreams about working on internet drama videos.
You know, over a decade ago, actually about 15 years ago now, I got into a really massive wreck. I flipped the truck. It literally exploded and went into flames. I sometimes still have dreams in relation to that. Pretty horrible experience. Could have died. Grace of God and my seatbelt are the only reason why I'm still here. If you're having dreams about drama online and making videos therein, I'm going to say this as kindly as I can, so understand the spirit of my words, not the words, but get a life.
That's funny.
Yes. No, I need to make this video with my best buddy Daft to defeat the coalition of Creepshow Art, Hopeless Peaches, and Harley TBS, and then I, realize, wait a second, none of this makes sense, the timeline is all wrong, the alliances are all wrong, and then I wake up and I'm like, oh, it was a dream.
Monstrous, I'm trying to correct my behavior. Giving into the hatred doesn't do that.
I had a dream when this whole thing, when the day Jack left, I think, I had a dream where, someone hacked my Twitter and just kept saying the N-word over and over.
I've had that one. Oh,
Very
get ready.
specific thing that could
Why do people have those dreams?
actually happen.
Oh, get ready for when they, get ready for the dream where they hack your Twitter and start posting, some of the most, gory lolly shit ever.
Who has dreams about Twitter? Except maybe Trump.
Those are the best dreams.
What do you mean those are the best dreams? Jar, is there something you need to tell us? Jar? Jar, no.
No, I just had a dream where someone, hacked into my Twitter and just kept spamming the N-word. And I was like, no, I can't do that. I'm not supposed to do that. Someone's on my Twitter.
Well,
why is that what people have dreams about? Why? Never mind.
Synni, that wasn't a dream. It was me. It was It was me, Synni.
Why would you do this?
Sorry,
you really are the king of racism.
Sorry, I keep calling you Synni.
This is unforgivable.
This is before your time, but there was this popular zombie game called Synni.
I think I know what game you're talking about.
Yeah.
Was it really just called? Oh wait, you mean Sunset Overdrive?
No, it's just Synni. It was this pixelated online game that.
Different zombie game.
Yeah, it's not mainstream at all, but every kid in the early 2000s was playing it.
Sounds epic, but my mind immediately went to Sunset Overdrive. I don't know.
Okay, well, tomorrow I'm gonna get to work on the video about you, but I'm gonna have to change the thumbnail. I'm going to have to pick I'm gonna have to pick what parts work and what don't work. At least I don't have to change the credits, but yeah, I'm gonna be changing my video a lot, and I'm also gonna have to reach out to Jack because, for all I know, you're
have fun with that. Oh my god.
Yeah, I'm gonna get the video ready because knowing Jack, they're probably gonna panic and try to control the narrative,
Of course, and that's gonna be hilarious, but
he's already assuming what somebody's going to do based on nothing. Lord.
God, I feel so fucking shitty because, I'm in a way praying for Jack's downfall, but it's just because his downfall is, me coming out of this situation alive.
Yeah,
God.
The worst part is...
I feel evil.
I know. Trust me, I feel evil too, but...
If you are doing something that makes you feel evil, don't. Okay, I get being conflicted about something. When I put out that information about Spoctor, I was conflicted not because of the responsibility inherently, but because I knew that putting that out, he had fans that it was going to hurt. So that sucked, right? But I never felt evil doing it. Because that's a very specific word. I feel evil. If you feel evil, that's your conscience, and it's communicating something to you. And you probably heed it, but you didn't. This was one... You know the problem with this? Alright? I'll make a relation here. So, I know how to drive using the Smith driving lesson. Or method, rather. Which means that I usually have better understanding of things on the road than other people might. Not because I'm super better, but because of the training I was put into. Most accidents are avoidable. Not all of them are. At least on your end. You as a driver. You control whether or not you cause an accident. Jar caused this one, and he did it knowing it wasn't right.
Like, I'm gonna be 100% real here. I don't want to cancel anyone. If there could be an alternate timeline where
I don't want Jack to be canceled either. I just want him to fucking face consequences for this because, God, I'm not happy. I'm not happy. I don't want Jack to, like, go away forever. I don't want him to, like, suffer constantly. I want to not be Synni the groomer. Like, God.
The thing is, I'm not going to sit here and pretend that Jack handled this properly. He didn't. But I'm also well enough aware that a lot of people seem to think the best way to deal with grooming is immediately going to YouTube. And I know that maybe there's some hypocrisy there with me, but a lot of the stuff I handled in terms of grooming isn't even in a YouTube video. I primarily addressed a public situation about groomers when they had an audience or people they could still prey on. So, yeah, there's some difference there, but I do not think Jack handled this well. And I'm not going to dog on them too hard for that because they are actually terminally online. And experience is the only thing that's going to correct that. Real world experience.
Like, listen, have you seen Invincible Season 2?
Not all of it.
And I need to point this out because of what Jar's about to say here. I'm going to point that out as soon as he's done with this comparison.
Have you seen the part where him and his dad are fighting the group of 3 Viltrumites?
Yes.
Okay, Omni-Man, like, Mark doesn't want to kill that one Viltrumite woman, and his dad is like, she is trying to kill you, Mark. If you don't kill her, you're going to die. Just so you know, Synni, you have to fight back. If you don't, people are going to think you're a groomer. And here's the thing. When people think you're a groomer, they think you're a pedophile. And when they think you're a pedophile and a groomer, they think you're a possible child molester. This shit does not stay online.
So, here's what I have noticed about Jar. And you can hear this in his interview with Beckett that you should go listen to. Jar cannot make comparisons to real-world experiences he has. He always goes to fiction. Now, I love fiction. All right, I'm a nerd. I'm an 80s nerd. I have action figures and whatnot, too. But if I have a comparison like that, Jar goes to Invincible. When I was doing longsword fencing at the Houston Fencing Academy, my instructor, Sean, would always notice that I would pull back before actually connecting with my opponent. Because the fencing we did there isn't sport fencing. We're using nylon or sometimes blunt steel weapons. We're in full gear, so we minimize hurt. And he noticed that I would always pull back, and he asked me why. I'm like, well, I'm worried about hurting my opponent because I don't want to. And his response to me, I'll never forget this, your opponent's safety is his responsibility. His, not yours. If he wants to stay safe, he won't get hit. Same concept that Jar's espousing here, but I don't have to go to fiction to do it. Fiction's great for extrapolating and taking ideas and finding ways to recontextualize them and make them sometimes easier to digest, but it should not be the end-all be-all to every experience, right? You have to have the real-world experience in something, and Jar just does not.
It will link into your real life if you do not fight back.
No, I completely get that. You want to know what happened today? I got called into the back of my workplace, the store I work at, and they told me that people are reporting me because of the YouTube videos coming out, because some of my coworkers know about my YouTube channel. And luckily I still have my job, but like they called me in specifically because like when this whole situation happened, I requested that I not be like on the front end because I was scared that someone was gonna like recognize my face and then try to kill me. That did not last very long. I'm okay now, but like they were like following up on that and also like telling me, hey, so like we keep getting reports about some internet stuff going on. Are there any police reports about this? And I was like, no, because there isn't. There's no police investigation or anything.
In fairness, or accuracy rather, Ray Road, Synni didn't bring this into her workplace. Jack knew where Synni worked, so that's going to bite them in the butt in general. And you know, I actually made, since somebody mentioned, I made this comparison to Beckett when he was having me listen to his interview with Jar. Like, I grew up in the 80s. All these cartoons had PSAs at the end of it. Good. A lot of them were very functional. That's fine. I didn't get my moral values from the cartoons I watched. You gotta have a grip on reality.
Because these guys are morons, and this would get laughed at if the police were involved. Fucking... So luckily, I have my job still. How's that for, like, internet bullshit? I could have gotten fired.
This is why I don't tell people my YouTube channel at my work. Can I tell you the people who've, like, can I tell you, like, you know, I'm getting tired. It's 1 a.m. where I'm at, 1:10
I'm so sorry.
What?
Oh, hey, we have the same time zone.
We do? Oh, do you also live in Texas?
I live in Missouri.
Oh. Okay, but here's the thing. I'm gonna go now, but here's one thing I want you to tell you. It's gonna be a hard uphill battle, but you know what? It was the same way for Hopeless Peaches. And since Hopeless Peaches made it out, I'm gonna help you out. And I'm gonna help you out through this, okay?
You know, when Kumo first told me about Jar's video, he told me that he thinks Jar is trying to turn Synni into the next Hopeless Peaches. And I didn't inherently doubt that, but then I listened to this and I'm like, no, that's exactly what he was trying to do.
But I'm gonna ask you something.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Please do not backstab me.
I don't plan on it. I'm not an asshole.
Okay, it's just, I have to ask that.
Less than 24 hours from when this video came out, Jar got Caesared.
Because it happens a lot. I don't know why this keeps happening. Hey, I'm going to help you through your drama. Okay. Oh, thank you, Jar. Oh, you're welcome, Peaches. Anyways, I'm going to go tell a bunch of people you're racist behind your back. Oh, this sounds great, Peaches. Oh, hey, Junkie, I'm going to help you out with Lulu Bell stuff. Oh, thanks, Jar. Anyways, I'm going to backstab you in the Toby drama and also call you racist. Like, if you do backstab me, please call me sexist. I'm tired of the racist stuff. Like, I want to be sexist now, okay?
Number one, you need to be more selective about who you help. And yes, I know, preaching to the choir, don't kill me. More importantly, though, don't do things for people because you want something in return. Just do it because it's the right thing to do.
Call me homophobic. You know what? Like, I could do that too. Like, here's the...
Well, I can't call Jar homophobic. He has kissed an Italian man.
I'm way more sexist than I'm racist.
At least you're admitting to it.
What do you know? You're a woman.
No, I'm not. I don't have a stick up my ass. I'm not gonna be mean, but like...
Okay, I'll tell you when my video is ready.
You know, I'm not interested in having another conversation with Jar for a long time. But I would pay to see if Jar would have that energy in a guac call with Monstrous. That would be entertaining.
And I'm going to reach out, once my video is ready, I'm going to reach out to your friend, but like, yeah, this stuff is going to get crazy.
God, I look forward to Jack losing his mind over this because I'm so tired of his bullshit. He's been so mean to me.
Jack, in fact, did not lose their mind. I'm pretty sure Jack's having a grand old time right now with this.
But I'll let you get to sleep. I'm probably not going to go to bed for a while. I'm going to try finishing my video. You there?
Hang on.
Oh.
Reaching. I am just so glad I had that same feeling I had during the Peaches and Spockter drama. I just get this, I don't know, like how Spider-Man has a spidey sense, I guess he has the...
Jar sense.
The jar sense, like, oh, my jar sense is tingling.
Okay, so there is a rule in Cat Slayer that you are not allowed, and we don't really do much in the way of punishment drawings or anything anymore, because it was supposed to be fun. We found out people were actually resentful of it, and that's not what we wanted. Where you are not allowed to call Spockter. You have to call him stupid effing lizard. Jar is trying his best to do victory laps over helping Peaches and Spockter. It didn't age well. It didn't age well at all. Because Spockter wound up doing the exact thing he was accused of just a couple years later. And Peaches didn't just magically turn rabid after their drama. They just were waiting for some sucker to come in and be used.
My super ears are burning.
And go back up.
Yeah, and this whole thing was crazy. I'm going to try to help you get through this, but who knows? Maybe you're just manipulating me and I'm just being a simp for you. So I will be reaching out to Jack once I get my next draft of my video ready and see what they have to say.
Well, I censored it, Elias, so.
I'm sure I'm a pedophile. I'm sure that's his takeaway.
Somebody clip that. Chris, you have people.
Actually, I'll be honest. I don't know what the fuck he's gonna say about me. I can't keep up with how many things he says about me.
Listen, if you were a pedophile, there would be way more evidence. Like,
no. Just because there's not evidence of something doesn't mean they didn't do it.
Where's all the lolicon, shotacon, and cub art?
Oh my god. Oh my god. Jar. My grandfather didn't even know what that stuff was. A person who imbibes in lolicon and shotacon sexually, yes, I would call them a pedophile. But what you're talking about here isn't somebody who's just attracted to children. Talk about somebody who was inappropriate to them. Are you dumb? This is why I keep talking about Jar coaching everything in terms of online stuff. And I'm not petting that cat. That cat needs to be fixed. She's trying to be a hoe.
I sure don't see it.
Yeah, I feel like just to be clear, I know what I did was bad, and I know it was fucking stupid.
Wait, hold on. By Jar's value, though, doesn't he consider Vosh a pedophile, then? Huh.
Like, one of the easiest things to not do. I'm not a pedophile. Like, goddammit.
You're irresponsible, that's for sure.
And while I don't
Pot kettle black.
want to blame my autism, it sure does explain a lot of things.
Yeah, don't ever bring it up. Autism.
No, it's
being
never coming up.
autistic.
It's never coming up in my video. It's
Being
never coming up in my
autistic
video.
is literally the worst minority. It's like, black people can use the black card, women can use the woman card, even though women are not a minority. But like, when you're autistic, you get nothing but negatives. It's fucking.
You know, I still plan on doing a video about Jar's Bible power scaling. But here we now have this grown man. Minority power scaling.
Sucks.
Man, bullshit.
The only advantage you get is someone will give you a math problem that's like a really complicated one, and you can give whatever answer you want, and they think you got it right because you're autistic. That's fun.
I don't think that's accurate. Now, if they ask you a question about steam engines, probably, but no.
That doesn't happen with me.
Alright, I'm gonna get ready for bed now.
You go bed. Shoot, get out. Get.
Hey, you have a good night, and, you know, keep up the fight, and I'm sure it will end well for you. I've seen people get out of it. Oh, and one more thing. For 3 to 4 years down the line, don't get a little bit of backlash and suddenly delete your channel like Spockter and Peaches did. Like, don't do that. Huh?
I like my YouTube channel. I don't plan on it.
Yeah, well, Peaches and Spockter seem to really like theirs, and I sure can't find them anymore.
It's so frustrating that that's the thing he homes in on. Keep your channel up. Keep your channel up. It's all about YouTube. It's all about YouTube. No, it's not.
Yeah.
Yeah, don't. Here's the thing. Junkie didn't get canceled for what he did.
Yes, he did.
Neither did Spockter nor did Peaches.
Yes, they did.
Got canceled because they were cowards.
No. Junkie got canceled for being a backstabbing snake. Spotter got canceled for having the nudes of a 13-year-old past the age of 18. And Peaches got canceled for broadly gestures at literally everything that's happened the past year.
Running away is the ultimate admission of guilt. Don't do that.
Yeah.
All right. Good night, Synni.
Good note.
Now, Lyle, you're probably thinking, why are you still playing this clip? Why are you still playing this recording? It's actually got 2 minutes left on it. You're about to find out why here in a minute. He kept it going. He kept it going. This is great. It's dead air until the very end. We're almost there, don't worry. I'm at 2 times speed now, because we obviously don't need 1.5. And no, thankfully, no jerking of yerking. Wait for it.
We're gonna beat you down, you punk! You hear me? Who do you think?
That's when he cut it! Right there! 2 minutes of dead air! He went back to the stupid Twitter video, and he recorded it! I'm tired. Alright, so apparently a couple of people want on here real quick. We're not going to go into this because I only got like 5 minutes left. I need to get the YouTube short for tonight done. Let's see here. Ooh, this. I've been called stinky. Why? Oh, God. Why are you making a body pillow of me? I'm violated. All right, so let me go ahead and hop in my office here, and then Zach and Lulu can come in because they need attention, I suppose. Where is it? Where is my office? There it is.
Thundercats!
Yes, that is my entry sound. I will not apologize for it.
Hey, yo, Lio, I heard you fucking talking shit, saying I need attention and shit. Girl, what the fuck?
Am I wrong, though?
No, but shut up. Listen, okay, I need Mon here. I need Mon here so we can state our terms very, very publicly. Anyways, how are you?
I want to go to bed.
That's very Julia of you. Mon, get the fuck on the stream.
I don't even know who Julia is.
You survived.
It's a feeling. It's a feeling, not a... It's a feeling, like, not a tangible thing. Like, when you're Julia, you'll know.
What? I see what you have to do there.
Go ahead, Monstrous, because then I gotta read the super chats and get off of here.
Okay. Thanks for calling me out.
You're welcome.
This is me and Zach. Oh, not Zach. Zach's gone. Okay, whatever. Oh, there's Zach. Okay, whatever. This is me and Zach challenging Jar to a call in Guac or Thunderdome. I don't care. Thunderdome's good too.
Yeah.
For being a pussy ass bitch.
Yeah, I couldn't make an announcement. Just a robot is a bitch.
I'm so ready for this.
Me too, twin.
Gonna make Jar my bitch.
Okay.
Jar, all you gotta do, DM Lio, DM me, DM Monstrous, DM anybody on Guac Squad. We'll hook you up.
All right. Well, I see somebody mentioned somebody else, so I'll go ahead and play this. And I'll get my closing thoughts. Where is it? Ah.
I will take you to
the toilet.
I gotta hop out of call and get my final thoughts here. All right, so let me go ahead and read the super chat so we can close out and I can go to bed. Refresh. Okay. From the top to the bottom. Or bottom to top, I start. Give me a second here. Yin, $2. 1 minute late, old man. Tisk tisk. Stinky rat, $2. You're busy to stream. I sent you a DM. I'll get to it shortly. Hidden heroin. Give me your forbidden Megatron for $5. DJ Sprout says, thoughts on Nicholas Diorio, Chud Logic, etc. Already answered that. Yin for another $5. Give the Megatron to me instead of Hidden. Hidden for another $2. Ignore Yin. Give me the Megatron. Yin for another $2. Ignore Hidden. Amos says for $2. Jar needs to touch grass. No, Jar needs to go into the woods and live there for a while. Hidden for another $2. No more Jar content. Megatron review. I've done like 2 Megatrons already. Yen for $2. No more Megatron, only Soundwave. There's a Soundwave up for this month too. Goblin Archives for $2. Give me your Mikus. No. Amos for another $2. Spinling is a suspicious fella. Okay then. Yen for $5. Good night, old man. Give the Megatron to me. Good night, Yen. Hidden Heroin for $2. Ignore Yen, my Megatron. Jar bad at covering this. Yes, that is true. Raccoon for $2. I thought everyone knew that Jar needs help. Well, they do, and they have. Raccoon for another $2. I will take the toilet. Please don't. It is necessary. Platinum Amex for $2. The typical male fantasy. $2 gas. I mean, yeah. Artax Hex for $2. Put Subway Surfers on them. No, I don't even know what that is. Hidden Heroin for $2. If you could have one Transformer, which one? I actually don't know. Platinum Amex for $2. The monkey can learn to use the keyboard. Yes, they can. Raccoon for $2. Boomer is learning, and that's scary. Also true. Juno 8 Glass for $2. Please say just a skin flute. Generic Gray Fish, $10 for nothing. Generic Gray Fish, $5. I hope that you won't have any more things like this pop up, sending my shillings on some super articulated figures. Well, only time will tell. Water Droplet TM for $2. This can't even be considered an interview anymore. It was never one to begin with. Why would it be? Why have any form of objectivity? Or even if at bare minimum, had Jar come in there and like ripped a face off, we wouldn't be having this concern right now. But here we are. Here we are. Lord. I'll double check things, make sure I didn't miss a super chat once my Browser unfreezes. Yes, Gidget, I know, but I can't let you in here right now. There's stuff you'll break. Little gremlin. So let's see here, just double checking. Alright, so I think I got one from Chocolate, just a weirdo. Keep shining, Lio. I can't promise shining, but still. For Corey Mism, $10. Good night, Lio and everyone. So, last one, Generic Greyfish. I forgot to add my comment to the $10 chat. Well, I'm sorry. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and let everybody go. Good luck out there, and I'm hoping not to have to talk about Jar again for a good long time because I'm exhausted. I didn't even want to do this, but nobody was willing to take the video, and I didn't want to hand out the call, and I don't plan on handing out the call. I'd rather it be used responsibly. But I'll catch you guys later, and I hope you have a good evening and enjoy your spooky times, because I won't. Good night, everyone.